Right, so I forgot to play the theme tune, but here we go. We're going live, and we're live. We are live to YouTube and D Live.
That's nice.
I think the chat staged in intervention to remind us we're starting at 7.
Oh, right. Okay.
Some beautiful keyboard ASMR.
Merry Christmas, everybody! It's that time of year. It's all festive. Anyway, Gray. So what bullshit have we got to ruin their Christmas weekend?
People waiting for us. Well, this week, Hobbit led me to a burger joint where I got food poisoning. So thanks for that, Hobbit, mate.
You're most welcome, and we will be doing a story about a similar kebab shop later on, and the seedy underbelly of Oxford grime.
Mm-hmm. I said it's actually a punishment on Gray for doing so much fucking soundboard drops. It's like, did you say drops? From a laugh.
I've had some good burgers in my time. I love a good melted Swiss cheese and roasted mushrooms and caramelized onions on a burger.
Good burgers.
That is hot stuff. You can get that at a number of different places.
Food poisoning. You can get that at a number of different places.
Yeah, usually served by a guy called Ahmed or Usman or Mohammed. I believe your server was called Usman.
Was he? He probably was. Or Mohammed.
It was either that or Boss Man. I can't really make out what the Ooga Booga was saying.
Why have I got a spanner by my name in the chat?
Because you're a...
Because
you're a mod.
We don't like you.
Hello, chat. I am Hobbit, and also I'm eating dinner, so I'm going to be quiet now.
Hey, we finally got him to do it. Great. It's only taken, 10 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Anyway, fucking live. We're live, and we've got... Who else have we got in the chat, Gray? Should we go through the list?
Yeah, let's just check. I'm not 100% sure. Are we running?
Yeah, we're live.
I can see it.
Yeah, it's strange because I'm using that restream thing, which is supposed to send it out to. There we go. It's a technical support. We haven't done any yet. I'm trying to use Restream, which sends to YouTube and D Live, but it worked earlier, but now it's decided it's not working.
Well, yeah, because you're on YouTube. It's streaming properly.
YouTube's working anyway, so.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's streaming to one place. So, are we going to dive into...
I can see God's Own in the chat. There you go, mate.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Gray, should we not go through who we've got on first, because we're professionals?
Should we do a roll call, shall we?
Let's do a roll call. Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
Oh, you can do it.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, in tonight's extravaganza, we've got a whole 6 people on the show this evening for your listening pleasure. At first, the dulcet tones of Mr. 8-Bit Mosley. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Evening all. Hope everyone is well, and Merry Christmas to everyone in advance.
All right, thanks very much. And then we have Wiltshire's finest, Mr. Mark Coletti's Ethno Spaghetti.
Hello, it's me, Marco.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So then we also have Hobbit, who you have heard. Okay, he's eating. Yeah. Now we have the Southeast's answer to Stormzy, the best gangster rapper in the Southeast, Mr. Jackson. Please say hello, sir.
What's your boys? Happy Christmas.
Wonderful. And as always, you have the soundboard enthusiast and the successor to a myriad of other podcasts, Mr. Sir Hemingford Gray. Hello there, mate.
That is hot stuff.
No, play the League of Gentlemen one.
Anyway,
thank you.
There we go. And of course, my name is Capstan, and I hate everyone in the nationalist movement. And I'm probably the most Jewy infiltrator that's ever managed to get a podcast on here. And now I've realised.
I have AUT, ISM, autism.
Yeah, but Capstan, you like me though.
Yeah, you are all right. But again, it's just a reference to me keeping on getting into trouble with every other stream I've been on. But anyway, so that's who we got in the chat, and we have 34 people watching, which is incredible.
That's
I
amazing.
can't believe that you bastards don't actually have anything better to do on a Monday night. But then again, it is a special time of year. And of course, I hope everyone's got a beverage, maybe a smoke if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, speaking of
remember
Monday,
to buy gifts for your family.
Speaking of Monday, next Monday we're doing what we're calling our clip show, where we go through the best stories of the year, which means Hobbit gets to dust off his best Laura Hesketh voice.
Oh yes, Toby Carvery is a story near and dear to my heart, but not my stomach.
Right, Ralph's in the chat. He says deport Stormzy.
And someone else said evening instead of evening, which I think is actually quite funny.
Oh, they must have pushed some wrong keys, because I have no idea what they're talking about. In an unrelated, does anybody still watch the kickball? The football.
Sports ball. No, I'm allergic to sports ball.
Perry Groves.
I've got a note from my mum.
Perry Groves is in a bit of trouble because he described Matt Ryan as having a holocaust of a game.
Oh.
What you mean? It was a non-starter and it didn't happen.
Must have got the goals wrong.
You're telling me that Middle FC aren't doing too well this football season?
No.
Oh, well, you see, that's the problem. I mean, North FC's got Nabugu, and he's so great.
Perry Groves, it's a blast from the past, isn't it?
Yeah. He's what is it? Outraged football fans, which means fucking nobody, took to Twitter after pundit Perry Groves apparently described a player as having a holocaust of a game live on a radio show. Did he get a train to the game?
When they say outraged football fans, do they also mean the ones which were very upset when the Bulgarian fans were having fun?
I think he just means moaning bin lids. I think that's what they mean by outraged foot. I suppose Thogden's done a video about it already. Dad, he shouldn't use Holocaust, should he, Dad? I don't know, kids, if you've ever heard of the Nazis. Do you remember Thogden and his dad talking about the evil racists?
Oh, yeah. What described in about 3 sentences.
There's one thing I love about football, and it's the fact that my sport of choice involves rolling around half naked, wearing very little with other men, and it is still not half as gay as football.
Yes, I too enjoyed WWF back when it was called WWF. They still should have done a tag team between the Pandas and Hulk Hogan, and whoever won it, it's just like they get awarded the title of WWF. I'm still annoyed they didn't have a SmackDown, a Royal Rumble.
I think they should have gone, fuck you, we're going to carry on calling it the WWE. I think that's what they should have done.
What they should have done is dressed up like Andre the Giant as like a gorilla or something, and just like body slammed him into the floor and just say, take that WWF.
Well, speaking of the Holocaust, Adolf Hitler's successor's baton was just a replica ceremonial baton made for Adolf Hitler's successor, Grand Admiral Karl Donitz, sells for nearly 25 grand at auction, but the original that was swiped as a souvenir by a British soldier is still worth up to 10 times its value.
Because
you just called him Donitz?
Donitz. It's
Donitz.
Donitz,
mate.
Donitz.
Yeah. Admiral
Have you never watched?
We're in England. It's fucking Donitz.
It is Donitz.
Donitz.
When you said Hitler's successor Batten, and I thought, well, Jared Batten wasn't that based.
Yeah, he did that massive cuck on Twitter the other day, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he completely blew it, didn't he? Fucking hell.
If you let yourself down and if you let the movement down.
I am disappointed in him, but more importantly, he should be
What community drama bullshit's happened now?
Oh, there's this. Yeah, you probably haven't heard of him. He's some sort of small-time politician, or was.
Oh, Gerard Batten, what the ex-UKIP guy?
Yeah.
Oh, the lad who's literal bit on the side. No, that was Harry Bolton. Sorry,
that was Bolton.
He was the one that I had a row with.
Oh, yeah, leader of traditional values. My bit on the side's actually more based than I am. I mean, for fuck's sake.
He started calling me a coward, and then I turned around and said, "Listen, mate, you fucking left your pregnant wife at Christmas. You can get fucked. There is nothing you can actually say to me. There is no moral high ground that you can take." And then it fucking devolved into him saying, "Oh, you wouldn't say that to me in person." And then,
you sure about that, pal?
Yeah, it was okay, mate. Okay, if you think so.
Yeah, but she continued it, didn't she, Jackson?
Yeah, she did. She quote tweeted me saying that I was, this is the sort of racist Nazis that UKIP like these days, and then she just got a barrage of replies from like the people that actually like me, just basically saying, "Shut up, you bin." You know, there's nothing to fucking do with UKIP. I think my favourite comment was, "He's as close to UKIP as you are to being marriageable." Fucking fuck. I got subscribers out of that. I was well pleased. It worked out quite well for me.
Yeah, Batten came out and said that anybody could be English, basically, as long as they live here. That was the kind of line he was going down. So he got a lot of shit for that.
Deservedly
I
so.
We're surprised these days, really. There's
has Brutus finally got off the UKIP train, or is he still on it?
It used to be called Batten Gang, his podcast, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't got a clue.
Well, then again, I mean, like, this is the thing. I don't know what it is, right? And I know I said we're a whole 10 minutes in and I'm already going to put my foot in it, and I don't care. What's it with the... I know I'm not the first to notice this. What is it about people on the alt-right, especially guys above, like, 35 till, say, 50, that have got Asian brides? What's the deal with that? I mean, it's John Derbyshire.
Well, I've told you many a time about that about that storyline in Hollyoaks and the fucking the based fucking like evil racist in that. He had a fucking chinky missus. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. But it's really annoying because, you know, they know it's just a diversity quota thing that they're trying to fill, and they thought, oh, no one will believe that. And anyone that actually knows about sort of like what I suppose you'd call the dissident right now, that was called the alt-right, but because we didn't get the definition sorted, blah, blah, fucking blah. Right. And they're actually more accurate than they could ever know. Oh, dear God.
Yeah, they think they're insulting us, but they're actually 100% correct.
Yeah, just the amount of fucking rice burning in these circles. I mean, what did our dear friends say? Gray, is it not the most helpful thing in the world? Was that his exact words? From a bloke whose name I shall not mention on this podcast. It's not overly helpful. There you go.
Something like that.
That was a very diplomatic response. It's not overly helpful. If you're watching, you know who you are. I haven't forgotten that.
I think it's just a case where people sort of look abroad now. They sort of give up on white women because, to be fair, to sort of dig through the shit and find a gem, it does take a while. I think what they sort of do is they look to the east and they say, oh, they've got it sort of nailed down, you know, more submissive women and all that. And
but what do you want? Do you want a decent society, or do you want a fucking country that's worth about 2 pence? It seems you can have either one or the other.
Well, I just want my kids to look like me. I don't think that's too much to fucking ask. And yeah.
When it comes to rice burners, let me tell you, when it comes to rice burners, mate, they're all sexual deviants. Let me tell you that. And it is a trend. If you look at these like rice burners like Jeroboam, they always go to Thailand, and the first thing they do is like go into this hypersexual degeneracy, like fucking trannies or children. Shit like that. It's a very common thing now to like white weirdos that go to Asia and do all that shit. It's just so fucking common.
It always has been. I used to work in a factory years ago, and there was like a couple of like really fucking old geezers with grey hair that used to come and pick up their fucking 20-year-old fucking Thai bride who worked in the factory.
It's just grim. Oh. They're just weirdos. They are your bum anime. Just like this proper pedophile fucking shit.
Yeah.
Or they just
It's
creep.
the worst thing is when the Americans say like, "I love anime, it's based," and they go, and then you have to point it out to them that's like anime just literally American culture as Japs see it. It's not Japanese culture, it's American culture as Japs see it is what anime is.
I will go on
Subscriptions
record.
as well.
I will go on record as saying my favourite anime is The Simpsons. But no, I couldn't get into it, and yeah, you get that sort of there is definitely a sort of stigma attached to it as well. Do you remember when them little I think they were Taiwanese or maybe Filipino, but they got caught in the cave, and then that diver went in and rescued them, and Elon Musk, bless
That was
him.
Elon Musk threw his toys out the pram, didn't he? Because they wouldn't use his sub.
Elon Musk turned around and basically said, look, you know, a white bloke living in Taiwan is a little bit suspect. And oh fuck, the shit hit the fan over that, and I just sort of went, oh, I'm glad he said it. So I was thinking the exact same thing, and I know loads of people were thinking the exact same thing. I think Gary Glitter sort of ruined it for everyone, but
my other favourite of Elon's was that one about, you know who owns the media, don't you? Do you remember that one?
oh, they absolutely threw their toys out the pram. That was brilliant.
What was that service he was going to do? Something to like fact check the media, basically just like who is a Jew journalist or not.
I don't think he was going to do that, but he was going to fact check it, and they were just like really shitting themselves over it.
Yeah, and that was it.
But imagine if you've got basically the equivalent of like a PayPal fact checker run by Elon Musk, just like fucking with the Guardian. Oh dear God. That would be brilliant. Speaking of Tesla news, can I just talk about a few things in aspects to Tesla, right? Because the bastard, the crazy motherfucker, either earlier this year or last year, announced a battery-powered truck. All right. Now that might seem, Elon Musk saving the future with some battery-powered truck, and what I want to know is that he actually didn't announce how much it was going to weigh. It was very quiet on that particular front, and when asked, he didn't say anything. Apparently, even the batteries per battery in this truck were going to weigh 5 tons.
Fuck.
Bloody hell.
And you just like a tractor unit now in Britain. I don't know about the United States, but a tractor unit now weighs approximately 7 tons. The fucking battery that's going in this American semi will be 5 fucking tons.
I thought you were talking about like the pickup truck type one. I was thinking that's just going to.
Oh no, like a semi trailer, an articulated lorry, big fuck off thing.
Because there's a spin-off company to Tesla called Nikola, and they're doing a gas turbine powered tractor unit. The idea is turbine electric, so it's just electric motors powering all wheels, including the front wheels.
Well, a heavy truck's not a problem because electric vehicles have massive amounts of torque, don't they?
Yeah, but the problem is it'll also use ridiculous amounts of power.
Well, you see, I can understand the idea, like if it's like a diesel electric locomotive where you've got a gas turbine and you can put diesel or kerosene into it, whatever fuel is available, and it will run. But I've always told that turbines, they're not. No, turbines are efficient. Sorry, I'm just thinking of the turbine cars which had gearing and they weren't.
But the problem is, a lot of this BS, with respect, can be simply solved by forcing people to not buy shit. That's literally it. How do we say
we both got autism, haven't we?
Oh, fuck off, you Jew. Anyway, so the point is...
This is important autism. We need to talk about...
Yeah, this is legit interesting shit. The point is, like, for example, you know, how many lorry loads literally just taking shit to B&M are on the roads right now of just, like, you know, novelty crap. I mean, if you were just caring about the environment, assuming that the level of CO2 and methane was created by man-made vehicles, man-made that it was man-made, this climate emergency, and had absolutely nothing to do with like sunspots or any other factor whatsoever in a sort of planetary cycle or sort of activity from the sun or whatever. You know, I'm not even going into that right now. As if you really care about
that's a good point.
Not buying shit.
That's a good point from Adam. You know when they have an accident, and it's not quite what Adam said, but you know when they have an accident and the batteries catch fire. Can you imagine those fuckers on a fucking Arctic going up?
No, they never go out, do they?
I think
cell has to burn out.
Doesn't one cell burn out and then the next one starts burning? Doesn't it? Isn't that why it takes so long for it to go out?
Yeah, that's what happened to Richard Hammond's car. You know, when he crashed it on the Grand Tour a couple of years ago, and he crashed off the side of a cliff with that that kind of electric car, where it took so long to put out. I actually found a funny story the other month in MotoGP, which is the Grand Prix racing for motorcycles. They decided to bring in electric bikes, but just before the season started, they kept all the bikes in this one factory, and it caught fire. And it took a month of Sundays to put out because of the way the batteries burn. I did find it quite amusing.
The problem with the battery hard short, it fucking goes. It's not like a little burn and then a melt through and then it flares up. When a battery fucking hard shorts, it fucking properly blows.
Yes, right. Lithium's quite flammable. It's a base 2 metal. Do you remember the experiments at school when the teacher would drop some sodium into the water? Lithium's not as reactive as sodium, but it's still going to burn quite fiercely. So you have to do a lot in order to stop that happening. I'd say the problem we got with electric vehicles is not the electric motor, because that's brilliant. It's the energy store. I mean, if you had like a petrol fuel cell which was converting petrol into electricity, that would be better than an internal combustion engine.
Yeah, but the problem is, lads, in terms of electric vehicles, we've had electric vehicles in this country for a very long time. And for dedicated short routes that are no more than, like, say, 8 or 9 miles from the factory or wherever you're delivering from, it's perfect. I mean, for example,
that is hot stuff.
Will you please stop being so Semitic on this podcast? It's really pissing me off now, Gray. Is that you have like a milk float or something, which is battery powered with reusable packaging in glass milk bottles, that are simply doing daily rounds from the dairy to a local area. You know, it's more than easily done. But
and those use lead acid batteries, which have less problems than lithium ion, but don't have the same energy density. People in the chat, as well as in this chat, saying, "What about hydrogen?" I mean, hydrogen's good. It's a good way of transmitting electric energy in tanks. However,
it burns cleaner, doesn't it? Completely.
We've got an incredibly intelligent statement from Salty Dog. It says electric cars are gay.
Yes.
No, mate. This shit's milk float nationalism. This is.
Do you think the end of milk rounds has affected white birth rates in England?
Probably.
Oh my god!
If the rumours
Quickly, everyone! I want everyone in the chat to open up your email browser now. Go and get Dr. Edward Dutton's email address and email him. Has milk packaging, due to the downfall of milk floats, had an adverse effect on birth abnormalities in the United Kingdom? Please, we need to know.
If they automate window cleaners, the white race will die out.
It's a good job postmen are still about, but then again they're privatised. It means they're probably tracking, which means that's probably affecting birth rates as well, isn't it?
So every postman I used to know, and I'll give them their dues, they were decent enough blokes. Don't get me wrong, but they were all fucking Sikhs. And if I look at my sort of offensively white skin tone, I know, the postman's definitely not the culprit.
Mate, I did a bit of work for the Mail a while ago, and I actually walked in. It was like walking into the Indian subcontinent. Fuck me, like I've never. Do you know when you just walk in somewhere and you think, yeah,
you wouldn't be suggesting they've got nepotism, have they, where they prefer their own to others?
Never.
Well,
No. We would never insinuate such things on this august show. Can I do a bit more autism about methane versus hydrogen for fuel?
Go on then.
Okay. Problem with hydrogen is you store it in anything. Because hydrogen's the smallest atom, and H2 is the smallest molecule, it will just leak through anything. Everything's porous to hydrogen because of how small it is. If you make a methane molecule, still very flammable, and the end results you get with that is water and carbon dioxide. However, with the current political climate, we're convinced that carbon dioxide is a deadly toxic pollutant and not actually one of the 4 elements to life. The 4 elements to life are air, water. The air is oxygen and carbon dioxide and sunshine. Yeah, without Carling, sunshine, and those other things, you cannot have life on Earth.
Carling
and carbon.
Yeah, so without Carling dioxide, the plants can't breathe. Literally.
Carling dioxide.
Carling dioxide. Yeah.
Oh, Badger in the chat says it's hydrogen, not hydrogen. Actually, I think you'll find it's protium. We're not using deuterium in fuel cells. So, nah. But he says hydrogen is everywhere, but methane's overproduced. Well, no, this is the thing. I mean, the most of the hydrogen we get these days is rendered down from LPG. So you burn off. Yes. You burn off the LPG until you've got hydrogen and you've got carbon dioxide. I'm thinking, why bother spending energy to burn off this LPG when you could just burn the LPG in the fuel cars anyway? And if you're talking about actually transporting hydroelectric electricity like Iceland's talking about, then what you do is you should be transporting methane. And we should get,
you should be shot.
The energy that you expend.
Grub Mella came up to me the other day and said, "Why haven't I got a brand sister?"
Fuck's sake.
Jackson, the point you're about to say, I'm saying yes, but I'm saying if you've got a country with a load of electricity that can't use it, like Iceland or Canada, then the best thing to do is get a fuel tanker and fill it up with liquid methane and just get to the point where we accept that, you know what, carbon dioxide's not a pollutant, we need it. We need more carbon dioxide in this world.
Yeah, it's just the case of sort of cleaning up, sort of less efficient. I mean, because what you got to look at, and always, I can't remember what scale it is that they use. It's some fucking long scale. The sort of derived from the same thing that the sort of heat scale that they use when refining Fahrenheit. They use one to basically sort of say what it would take to knock a proton out or knock an ion out to make something more stable or usable.
Yeah,
the sort of energy matrix that something like that would take is essentially nuclear fusion, but non-nuclear fusion. I'm no fucking physicist here. But
Listen, lads. I think we're just beating around the bush, though, because everyone in this chat knows full well the only way that if we are to stop, quote, man-made climate change, if you believe that from happening, is to invade India and China and colonize them and take over their industry.
And Pakistan.
Well,
and Pakistan. That's basically it. Swindon. Yeah. And so basically it's Swindon, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India and China in that order who has to just get nuked by the Trident program. And Scotland. Anyone else? Any other takers? Hang on. So we've got Swindon, the entirety of Scotland, Pakistan, Bangladesh.
I've already developed a coping strategy to sort out Africa and India. It's sickle cell Ebola AIDS. We just need to make sickle cell Ebola AIDS, just dump it on the continent. Then that should keep the wildlife alive.
I think this is why I deleted my last stream.
That's what you call genocide, mate.
No, it's not.
Mate.
It's saving the environment.
Will change too. Will the saying change too that AIDS starts at Calais? Is that where we've come to now? Because, but yeah, literally, I'm completely serious on this. We would basically have to invade India, China, and a few other countries, colonize them, and completely take over their industry and resources if you were to even have a hope in fucking hell of trying to curtail this sort of thing. You really would.
Badger's got an idea for solving the problems here. He says that I think all the Indians that reside here should be forced to pull us around in rickshaws or face deportation.
Fuck's sake.
That would go a long way to reducing emissions, but you will get a bit more fecal matter on the streets.
Can we just go back to talking shit about people? Because I've got a story about Geralt here, and I'm sure it's Geralt. A man was diagnosed with syphilis in his eyes after going to hospital with a headache. The 39-year-old in Sydney, Australia, I think they've got some of those details wrong there, went to the emergency room after suffering with headaches for 3 weeks. His pain had been getting worse when he moved his eyes, but he said his vision was still normal. When doctors looked at the back of his eyes, they noticed the optic nerves which send information to the brain were swollen. The medics revealed in a case report. Further tests revealed he's infected with syphilis, a sexually transmitted infection which had spread there from his genitals and is capable of spreading all over the body if left untreated.
A min just sat on his eyes.
Yeah, no. You wait, I haven't finished yet. The man had various medical tests and exams, including having fluid taken from his spine before a blood test revealed syphilis-causing bacteria. Syphilis was caused by bacteria called Treponema pallidum, and is most often spread by unprotected sex. The patient, who was not named, told doctors he was in a same-sex open relationship and engaged in casual unprotected sexual encounters with several male partners.
So are we saying that he's literally paused up to the eyeballs then?
Yeah.
I've got an interesting thing about syphilis, which is fucking how all the best stories start.
Oh, yeah.
But this sort of thing, this link between syphilis and like, sort of neurosyphilis and neurology, people weren't actually sure for quite a long time whether syphilis actually had a neurological component, whether it could actually go to the brain, because the treatment for syphilis used to be just fucking dose them full of mercury, because that kills everything.
Yeah, including the patient.
Yeah, and mercury makes you go absolutely fucking shit-sipping mental as well. So the neurosyphilis thing is actually still in debate, but this one's actually quite interesting there.
Jackson, that's very insensitive. Mercury inhalation causes autism, and that autism is to be celebrated.
Go on then, Hobbit. Give us your vaccination autism then, Hobbit, that you were telling me the other day.
Oh, it's a long story, and I'm wound up with a mate who also has autism, but he's like believing like, well, if the doctors tell me to do it, then it must be safe. I'm just like, you were in the same chemistry class as me. When I broke that mercury thermometer, we had to evacuate the laboratory, and I held my breath because I didn't want to breathe it in, because it's like, yeah, you don't breathe in mercury because it will kill you. Oh, yeah, but it's only a little bit of mercury. So how much is a safe? So I just got really wound up with him because he was basically saying I'm full of shit. I'm saying, like, look, you inject people with this, they get brain fever. You get brain fever, you get brain damage. How hard is that to figure out?
All right, I've got a counter to that, because I'm of the opinion that perhaps a little unpopular in these circles, that Dr. Edward Jenner, the inventor of the vaccine, is the greatest human being to have ever lived. And partly I think that is because, okay, the likelihood that you'll get autism, well, besides, if you get autism from vaccinations, on a different note, that will just create more of you, Hobbit, so you should be in favour of this.
That's how hobbits breed. Vaccination.
Exactly. It's like, you know how gay people make more gay people by molesting kids and shit. Well, Hobbit makes more autistics by injecting them full of vaccination.
However, Capstan, you see, the thing is, the more like autisms we have in the world, like the more diluted it is, and that I have fewer powers. So I'd rather there were fewer autistic spactards in the world. So I can just concentrate all the autism in one place.
Why? Because you want to be the special boy in the room. If everyone's got autism, that means no one has. Don't like that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm no longer a special snowflake, and that
when everyone has autism, no one has autism.
Right, okay, so my argument is quite simple. I don't know how much mercury would affect the brain, or how much build-up of mercury, or how much time it would take to give you a brain in some kind of issue with neurological issue. But what I do know is I'd rather take the chance at having a minor brain damage in 50 years than I would getting like syphilis, typhus, smallpox, etc.
It completely depends on what it is. It's like the swine flu vaccine was so rushed, and it was exceptionally fucking dangerous. It was really, really. I think there was a few trials where people did just keel over dead from it. It was quite a nasty one. But the whole sort of thing of vaccination requires herd immunity. That's the whole thing, is herd immunity. so that the disease dies out. And we did achieve this at one point with.
Till we let the foreigners in.
Yeah,
this is
polio and tuberculosis. We completely annihilated tuberculosis, which was a massive, massive killer.
Yeah.
Back in the early 20s.
One of the things which is overlooked in this, all the credit's given to vaccinations for that, and none of the credit's given to the fact that after World War II, slums were bulldozed and outhouses were replaced with actual sewage lines.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. But because
you can have all the vaccines in the world, and you still go to India and you'll have the shits because all the groundwater is contaminated with fecal matter.
Listen, you bastard. Let me get a fucking word in edgeways. What I was about to say is that the vaccines aren't the only reason that Britain is the best country in the world and that lots more of us lived than other less happier lands. There is an awful lot of other things that will stop you getting killed. A perfectly functional public sewage disposal system and sort of public utilities, right, are a huge component of this. Now, if you want to argue whether it's good or bad, for example, Edward Dutton would usually give you the whole thing about, oh yeah, but it allowed more people that wouldn't have existed under Darwinians of natural selection. It allowed more of those people to survive and have children, and that's why we have such a build-up of mutations and so many mental lefty bastards, right? Quite frankly. Now, that for me is a different issue, because at the time our main motive, and especially by those who were inventing these things, was essentially to increase the population, or to increase the survivability of the population, to alleviate the suffering of particularly British people, the English, the Welsh, the Scots, the Irish, etc. This was the purpose of this. Now, in terms of what we should be doing, well, I think an awful lot of things, as opposed to, sorting out the welfare system, perhaps considering some light eugenics, stop letting all the fucking foreigners in to destroy herd immunity, and using their low IQ and low impulse control to do stupid things that might just fuck up a complex hierarchical system that we formed over a couple of thousand years. Just on an element of seriousness, this doesn't mean we have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, nor does it mean that we have to regress to some high barbarism or low barbarism in order to, kill off the weak, so we don't have to deal with any of this. I'm very much
that vaccines have a use, but there's certain things which are put into them which seems dangerous. I mean, the most prevalent allergy we have these days is peanut. And all vaccines that I know of, unless somebody in the chat says, this one here doesn't, they use peanut oil as the solute for the substance inside it. The vials on the containers are latex rubber, and that's the second most common allergy. And it's like, yeah, because when you put a needle into the vial, there are minute traces of latex on the syringe, on the needle. And the vaccine is designed to cause an immune response. Now, unfortunately, the immune system is a bit indiscriminate. So in some cases, it goes, peanuts, immune response to that, latex, immune response to that as well.
Yeah, but the problem you've got is an allergic reaction, which is essentially an overreaction of the immune system.
Yeah.
That's not about to cause autism. I mean, you can stop things like... severe anaphylactic shock so fucking easy with adrenaline. There's never been an argument that babies are all of a sudden, being vaccinated and then going into anaphylactic shock and dying. That was never ever the argument. And there's never been a sort of significant case of that. There will be people that are allergic to certain agents, and there'll be people that are allergic to the actual virus themselves.
You get certain people, and I've witnessed this happen in my family with very close family members, and they'll have a brain fever for 2 weeks, and afterwards they'll be brain damaged. It's like, you can't have a high fever in your brain for 2 weeks and not expect to come out of it unscathed. And it's one of those things that when you see it happen to your own family members, and if you've got like an obsessive compulsive personality, you start going, what are the causes? What happened before? What could be the potential trigger for this? And this is why I say they do have a utility, but at the same time, it's not saying I'd just rather take the risk of getting disease. And I know with increasing amounts of diversity, I probably will get some exotic disease.
Exactly. Like I was about to say, if one day I have kids and I've got to send them to a primary school with foreign kids, you better fucking believe that I'm going to give them every fucking vaccination, immunization under the fucking sun before I let them run around with that.
You have to weigh the risk of an adverse reaction to a vaccine, which, I mean, encephalitis as well, which is the brain fever. Encephalitis can essentially be caused by a thing. And it's quite scary. But when you're sort of talking about things like, I think it's meningitis B, which is transmissible, fully. I mean, I'm not a fan of the flu vaccine at all because it just doesn't work. I'm not a fan of especially swine flu that was rushed out and it's dangerous. There's a lot of vaccines that I'd say no, the risks do not outweigh the rewards, like the whooping cough vaccine as well. That's another one. But when it comes to things that are sort of provably lethal, especially with meningitis as well in infants.
Well, especially, is it rubella leads to infertility, doesn't it? I think
rubella can lead to infertility. Rubella, what's the one I'm thinking of? Someone might be able to correct me in the chat. Rubella may be a form of the herpes virus as well. I think it is a form of the herpes virus. It's been a while since I've done medicine. Yeah, it is a form of. It is one of the herpes strains, which is why the whole thing about chickenpox as well. Keep an adult away that's never had chickenpox. If your kid gets chickenpox, but the adult around him has
is
never
that
had
shingles? Is it adult chickenpox?
Yeah, shingles.
It's more or less shingles. Yeah,
Shingles
can be quite nasty. It can spread to the eyes.
Chickenpox it never goes away, which I find utterly bizarre. So occasionally
it's herpes. It's the herpes virus. It doesn't.
Yeah,
it will live in you latently until you die, essentially.
And with shingles, it occasionally comes up and it flares. It's an inflammation of the nerves, and I find this unusual because you'd think surely it makes sense that you get a disease, and then once the disease runs its course, your immune system is able to defeat it. So how is it that this thing goes in? And I just think to myself,
because it's a virus. Viruses have a completely different mechanism. A virus is bacteria where your immune system.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same with cold sore though? Cold sore herpes, isn't it?
Yeah, they are.
It is a very sort of mild form of herpes, but
and that stays in your system, doesn't it, for life? If you get cold sore, it doesn't appear, but it's in your system.
It depends on what the strain is and what it's. Shit! I used to know so much more about this than I do now. It's actually quite depressing. But there is a number on the sort of the amount of mutations and the amount that a virus or bacteria can actually reproduce and actually.
I haven't got a conclusive conclusion yet, so sorry, chap. But my theory is, and I'd like to see if someone can prove this later on, is that with these viruses, the ones which never go away, like dengue fever and herpes, is that they write themselves into your body's DNA, because viruses, their information is stored in RNA, and for cells to transmit DNA from one to the other, they don't. What they do is they make a copy using RNA, and then they send that from one cell to another. So I suspect somehow the virus is able to download itself into your very DNA, and where it's stored in your body is absolutely fascinating. It's a real head scratcher.
It depends on the kind of virus. Retroviruses are able to affect DNA structure, things like AIDS and certain other. Oh, what's the other one? There's another one, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but most of your viruses tend to essentially hijack the cell's system to reproduce itself because they do it on their own. But unlike bacteria, which can pass plasmids and self-replicate, the virus has to, because there's a weird sort of scientific classification where no one can really argue whether the virus is alive or not.
Well, it's one of those things that I often think to myself that a virus is actually an aberration in the human code, and that the RNA strands which your cells normally transmit to one another occasionally they become malignant. And I'm starting to wonder now, because I had this theory, and this is probably saying more for the Fortean words, but what if, and this isn't my theory, but when you've got bummer boys doing bum sex with one another, that the sperm is in fact turning into HIV because of the environment it's being ejaculated into.
Funny enough, I was at some sort of, I think it was a paranormal conference or something like that. I was talking to this bloke, he was like a nutritionist or something, but he reckoned that that your sperm, when you do bum sex with another bloke, it turns the immune system off, because there's something in, because otherwise sperms would get attacked by the woman's immune system, wouldn't they? So this guy, no,
no, just no. It doesn't work like that at all. The reason bloodborne illnesses and STDs are transmitted so often by anal sex is because essentially what happens is you do breach, because sperm will hold the same sort of infection as blood will as well. And what happens is especially when a gay bloke takes it up the arse, apparently, it causes tearing, it causes bleeding.
Well, isn't the anal wall like super porous as well, isn't it?
Because there's an epithelial, there's a endothelial layer. Because think about your intestines, you absorb, I think it's 90% of all of your nutrition through your intestinal tract.
I would go on to say as well, the large intestine absorbs the moisture, so effectively all the drinks you're having, your intestines are sucking the moisture up through your poo, and that's how you stay hydrated.
Lovely.
Can I just say a quick interruption? Sorry, boys. I just want to say Merry Christmas to a very old friend of mine who's in the chat, Alec Majerus, and thank you very much, mate.
You poor fucking bastard, mate. What are you listening to this shit for? It's literal filth.
What?
The shit we talk about.
Rip and tear, he says. Rip and tear.
It literally is rip and tear. I mean,
speaking of poo, can we start dabbing on fucking Stormzy? Because I think we need to move out of this like autistic cul-de-sac that we're in.
Oh, before we do, right? Here's something which vaccines won't help you with, and it's
I'm going to refute him on his thing about viruses.
Okay, all right. Tell you what. Okay, I'm executive. I'm Hemi's show, but I'm just going to execute. I'm just going to like launch a putsch here, right, and say that you two have got precise. I'm actually going to set a timer on my computer. You've got 3 fucking minutes to hand this out. All right, and then we are moving on.
Right, okay, fuck it. A quick one. Your thing about it being sort of genetic, the way you're thinking of it is like with cancer and that, and it's not actually a genetically transmissible trait. The thing with cancer is it's a faulty proto-oncogene, which is what causes the cancer. Basically, the thing that tells the cell to stop reproducing doesn't work properly. So the cell reproduces, which is a genetically transmissible trait, or there is heritability along certain genetic lines, normally along the mother, and you can get it along sort of essentially the mitochondrial line. That's what it is. That's the faulty proto-oncogene. A virus exists outside of that. A virus is always contractible, whereas a cancer is not.
But they do use.
I wanted to say that.
But they do use viruses to hack DNA, though, don't they?
And I was going to say, in addition to that, when doing tests with mice to introduce cancer into them, there are viruses which can be injected, which cause them to have cancerous tumours. And I thought that was interesting. So there are actually pathogens which can cause cancer, as well as it being generated spontaneously in the body.
Yeah, which is
90 seconds.
HPV can essentially cause these cancers because the virus can interact with the proto-oncogenes in a way that other viruses do not.
So I wanted to briefly do this, and I can do it in less than 90 seconds with your permission, Capstan.
70 seconds.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how many vaccines
that
you've
is
got.
hot stuff.
If you go to the kebab shop in Cowley Road in Oxford, known as Kebab Kid, you will get sick. And also, if you go to the Kebab Kid in Gloucester Green, you will get sick.
Can confirm.
Shall I read out this entire story?
Doxing yourself, you fucking.
So
No, fuck off. No, time's up. We're moving on now.
Cholera is a
no,
bacteria.
Fuck you. You can't do it. You can't do it. Porous bacteria. You both have AIDS. Let's talk about Stormzy. Great. Over to you.
Fucking hell. I haven't got the story ready. Basically,
I want to talk about the food.
Yeah.
This is a show about food.
We'll come back to it later.
We'll come back to
Stormzy is. So who did Stormzy get interviewed by? I can't find the fucking article now.
Was it Sargon?
was it
Richard Spencer? Was it Richard Spencer?
I'd like to see an interview between Stormzy and Sargon. I've never heard Stormzy.
I know how it finished.
Sargon can tell him about his black granddad.
It'd finished like this if Spencer.
You'll never be an Englishman.
And that's what Stormzy needs to be told.
You'll never be an Englishman.
That's what Stormzy.
Well, he says the entire country's racist, and he's not wrong.
I heard some sort of cope on Twitter that was quite amusing, and it's like, yeah, Stormzy's not saying Stormzy's saying the country's not racist, not everybody in it.
The guy's not wrong. It's just the way he wraps it up is complete like victimization kind of thing.
Well, I was going to say he's not wrong. It's just that he says, yeah, England's 100% racist, and that's a bad thing. That's the only point contention I'd have.
Yeah, it's when he went on to. Yeah, I saw him on a picture of him in Glastonbury wearing a knife vest with like the Union Jack on the front of it, like a stab-proof vest, to bring attention to like.
That was designed by Banksy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was designed by Banksy. I remember just looking at that. I completely agree. You do need to be deported, and that will lower knife crime.
I have never been stabbed by a white man. That's all I'm going to say on that. Is I have been stabbed once in my life, and it was not by a white man.
Come to Liverpool, mate. Let's change that.
I've been stabbed by a white woman before.
Well, no one wants to hear about your sexual proclivities.
Yeah. if you paid her to do that Hobbit to your Hobbit, it doesn't count.
It was the really fleshy part.
Yeah, Hobbit will tell you what happened, but never why. It's funny that, isn't it?
Was it self-defense?
Yeah, he could. You know, the Mummy GF cries out in pain as she stabs Hobbit. Like, I mean, I'm just so confused. Like, what's going on?
She was not my girlfriend. She was, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, not your girlfriend yet. But after I let this woman stab me, she'll love me then, and she'll have lots of angry sex with me later on tonight. If so long as it's just a little stab, yeah, that'll be all right, won't it?
Mr. 262 in the chat says, "LOL, pegged."
Yeah. No. It was between the thumb and index finger, and that's not a good place to...
See, this is where I wish I had Geralt to do his black voice, because he does the best black voice. But the grime artist who has just released his second album, fucking two albums, and Heavy is the Head, it's called. Go out and buy that now in shops, kids.
He's industrious.
Fucking hell! It was an interview with the Italian newspaper La Repubblica. What are they doing?
As one does.
What are they doing talking to JCBs? I thought the Italians were supposed to be based.
Well, maybe it's like a sort of a humorous piece. It's just like, hey, look at this trained monkey. He's talking English, isn't it funny? they still see them with this bit of novelty item over there.
When asked the one with the dog playing table.
When asked if Britain was still racist,
can count.
Look, this bit I really object to. When asked if Britain was racist, the musician, a fucking citation
needed,
said definitely 100%, even if it was hidden. This reminds me about. Did you ever hear? Do you remember John Barnes, the footballer, went on a tour like telling white people they were racist, and he said, if you're not racist, you're racist subconsciously.
Is it just going to be a bit like that? I know that I'm just to come back to that album by what was it? Oh God, was it John Lennon? It was like "Woman is the nigger of the world" or something like that. Have we now on, fucking nigger of the world is a woman or something. You know, what aspect?
And fair use policy, he's quoting verbatim from the guy, therefore N-word pass.
Fourth album live from HMP Wormwood Scrubs.
It's like, oh no, we're not racist, but there's a lot of racism in the country, he said. The difficult thing with the UK is, as you said, in Italy it's a clear problem, whereas trying to explain that Britain is a racist country to a British person is the most difficult thing ever. They think, no, it's not, Stormzy, you're successful. Look at London, there's loads of black people. It's a more difficult case to fight. What the fuck is he even on about?
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Fucking cocks on them people. Sorry, mate, I cut over you. Carry on.
Sorry, I kind of agree with that, because even when you talk to like Mark Collette, he does like this somersault of like, oh yeah, we're not racist, we don't hate immigrants, we just love our people, stuff like that. While Italians are more like, yeah, fuck you, like, you're absolute
just
banana,
don't like them.
you know,
Yeah,
stuff like that. I can't see that within the working class. Obviously, when you think of the working class, you're like, oh yeah, fuck off, you packy cunt, all that shit. But no, it's like, you know, I'm not racist, I just don't like them, like unironically. That's like
pragmatically.
Did someone just ban Mr. 262 from the chat?
No.
Or has he just deleted everything that he's written?
He's just
someone been
262 was hidden by prototype.
Yeah, Godzone's just trying to protect him from the YouTube Gestapo.
Right, okay.
Did anyone see the
I was just about to say, you know, God's own prototype there, the fucking, you know, the SS bodyguard in the background, just sort of just watching, waiting, striking, you know.
Next time, because he seems to be a fucking solid moderator, to be fair. So next time I do a fucking stream God's own prototype and just kick out all the pagans.
Fucking hell! Do you actually? You don't care if God's own listens to your stream or not? Then, because he'll be so busy kicking out pagans, he won't have time.
No. To be honest with you, the last stream I had, I felt like shit because I was chatting away, and you was on this one.
Oh, what? When it was me, you, and Washed.
Yeah, me, you, and it was a good stream. That I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Hey, Jackson. Is a bit of a logic, right? And this is something which both pagans and Christians ought to consider. You know, pagans are into ancestor worship.
Yes.
I was thinking, like, most of my ancestors for the past 2,000 years have been Christian. So how can I ignore those ancestors?
But
so it's my pagan duty to respect my Christian ancestors, and also, you know, you say Jesus Christ in front of the Blues and just watch as they recoil in horror.
Because I'm in the sort of fuck you. Anyone that's sort of seen my Twitter will know I'm in the kind of I don't give a fuck mode on my channel. So I'm considering getting Brutus on, and I will make him cry. Because this whole fucking thing as well about the ancestor worship and all that, it's like, mate, he was like, oh, if you don't like pagans, you don't like your ancestors. Well, listen, I don't like the fucking ancestors that used to sacrifice babies to trees. That is quite fucking simple, and I will die on that hill. I do not like the ancestors that used to fucking, you know, fuck sheep guts and try and tell the future.
Don't you fucking lump me in with the Welsh, you fucking Catholic bastard. You can fuck off, son, if you think you're pegging that on me, boy.
And here's the thing, Jack. So, I mean, be them, you know, if they're the tree botherers or the Bible botherers, both of them would have eaten meat and they would have looked at the vegetarian descendants as like, why are you doing that? Go on, eat
Yes, Brutus. Yes, Brutus.
It's delicious. Exactly. Go on, eat it. Go on,
I think.
Is he a veggie?
You can get that at a number of different places.
What a bender.
The Odinist pagans and the Catholic ancestors that went and actually did something, you know, that went and actually fought against the fucking the Saracen invasion of Europe and the fucking Turkish Empire trying to take Vienna, because that's where my sort of ancestry goes. It's the people that actually did get up, take up their cross, and go and fight.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. Hang on. What's the whole Northern Crusade bullshit about that? What's going on with that? If you were to, with respect, I know this meant to be. Fuck it, I don't care anymore. We're having this conversation, right? It's better than AIDS, literal anal sex AIDS chat, right? But if that's the case and you're too busy, twatting
What's
the
that
Muslims, which fair enough. You've
But he's
had
a puff.
quite a few.
He likes the boys.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Anyway,
Oh, mate,
it's
I
not
was
your
on-
fault
I-
you're on Nick Knock, is it?
Is it why we basically come back from the holy?
That is hot stuff.
Yeah.
Gray,
What?
stop being a nigger.
Capstan.
Yeah,
Stop trying to get my
yeah.
fucking channel banned, you prick.
Well, stop playing your fucking soundboard then, and it won't get your channel banned.
Well, you already tried twice before I started using the soundboard.
Capstan, let me preemptively answer you. The fact that we come back from the Holy Lands and still went to war with the Scots, it's like the same reason we come back from Flanders Fields in Normandy and still went to war with the Irish.
Yeah, but I can respect the latter of that. I can respect that. There's a difference there.
Yeah, but still, we are genuinely a bellicose, warlike people. And Christianity,
I'll give you that.
yeah, Christianity is fine. It's a unifying factor. In the fact is, when we stood there was a common enemy. We all grouped together and we absolutely fucking banded together and smashed the shit out.
Hold on, is this going? You're going to start pan-Europeanism with the base poles?
No, I'm going to say this is why pan-European is a terrible idea. This is the exact fucking opposite.
My right brethren. We shall mix to make the ultimate master race to defeat the evil Jews.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had the ability in history to unite against a common enemy. And now the thing is you get these fucking pagans on this.
I'm all in.
We haven't got.
I'm all in favour of pan-Europeanism because our latrines, I don't think our lads should be cleaning them out. I think that's what you need the Polish for.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh.
That's the imperial argument.
I mean, let's be honest. Who are we going? I mean, it said there's some men here that aren't going to be able to have kids, and it's a choice between importing fucking Svetlana, right, or Ling Pao. And if it has to be one or the other, I think we're just going to have to bite the bullet and import Ukrainian supermodels over and above some Thai lady boy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Can we import Bavarian ladies as well? Because they're nice.
Hold on. What's the assumption here that you boys can't find English?
No, I'm just saying I like German, Belgian, and French women. I think they're pretty.
That's because you're foreign and you're not English.
You know the
Go away.
You know the Christmas market where they were selling mulled wine.
Hobbit.
You'll never be an Englishman.
You're also live on air, so please shut up.
Oh,
you fucking mob.
What I'm saying is I've got appreciation for our continentals. You know, they can give us their ladies, and you know they can have. We'll give them something. Maybe crumpets.
Oh, here you go. Stephen J. James has actually come up with a good point. He said pagans who moan about Christian proselytization would do well to reflect on the fact that if not for this, they would live not in a pagan utopia today, but a Muslim caliphate.
Absolute, complete larpy coke bullshit. That's utter nonsense. Are you seriously telling me that the Roman Empire, who up until 264 were pagan, couldn't take like the Moors or any of the Middle East?
The Roman Empire, the Roman Empire was long gone by the time we got to the Crusade.
I think he's actually talking. I think he's actually talking about like in the past 1,000 years, not
Yeah.
Well, with respect to that, we'll never know then, will we?
Well, you can look.
No. Hang on.
You can look at military numbers, and you can look at the fact is when the pagans landed and found England to be this weak, easily conquerable fucking thing full of.
You said pagans. Did you mean Romans?
Sorry, weak, easily conquerable. It took them 50 years and the better part of 30,000
Yes,
men.
and they got smashed back. But the narrative. This is what I'm saying. Is I don't disagree with you there. What I'm saying is the narrative with the pagans tends to be between, Christ cucks are weak, blah, 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 and God forgive me for even saying those two words together. It tends to be, they were weak, look, we smashed them, look at our strong berserkers, and then the next thing you know, they're crying that, oh, look at these Christians coming over and cutting down our sacred trees. I love St. Boniface. St. Boniface come in and just fucking hack down their trees.
And these people believe might is right. And
yeah, exactly. If might is right, then why did the Christians beat you? If might was right,
well, that's it. The pagans failed. The pagans failed in both force and ideas. They lost on both
pagans.
Fronts.
The Romans were pagans. The reason you are Roman Catholic now, until Constantine in 264 went and changed the religion of the largest empire in Europe at the time.
Why did he change the religion? Why do you change the religion of an entire empire? Because Constantine got a vision from God that said, "In hoc signo vinces," by this symbol you will conquer. And then Constantine practically, and this is the thing as well, is if you want to sort of implement a new religion as a political tool, you do it gradually. You know, you do what our friends with the small hats do. You bring it about gradually, and then you warp it into Judeo-Christian. No, Constantine brought it in pretty fucking quick. You know, the Pantheons were outlawed within the same year that Constantine had his revelation. So it wasn't a case of this is subversive. This was a case of Constantine saying, okay, I believe in what I've been told. This is going to go on the Roman standards. We're going to have the Cairo on the standards. We're going to remove the fucking symbols of Mars or Jupiter or whatever, and we will conquer. And they fucking conquered.
Mind you, Jackson, mind you, the Druids did manage to infiltrate Christianity, and that is why we have Christmas on the 25th of December.
When you say infiltrate, there is a case of where we say, right, okay, we will give concessions to certain things, like with the whole Christmas tree and that. We will give you a little bit of concession here. Rather than having to go and launch a bloody war, you will get more souls through missionary work. And
I'll go with that.
Yeah, but when they say, oh, no, it was a concession to the pagans, if the Romans wanted to destroy the fucking Druids, they would have destroyed the Druids outright. There is no question about it that the Roman Catholic Empire was strong enough to absolutely subjugate and annihilate the Druids.
Yeah, but why was the Roman Catholic Empire so massive? It was because of the past 200 years of the Roman pagan empire marching across most of Europe.
Yes, but if paganism was that strong, if paganism was that strong, it would have turned around and pushed back this quote-unquote subversive influence.
Hey, I didn't say it was a subversive influence. When did
No, I'm not saying you said it, but what I'm saying is other people say that this was a subversive influence.
What I'm saying is that Christianity was an evolution in our collective mythology, and it allowed us to achieve previously unachieved heights. I think with paganism, I'm speculating here because we don't know, we might have stagnated.
No, because there is a resurgence. There is a genuine resurgence towards traditional Catholicism.
Yeah,
there's always a counter. And
Jackson, what I'm saying is that we were primed and ready to take Christianity on, and this is why it superseded paganism. Because
but lads, what I'm saying is, again, and this is, I don't know why I'm doing it. Maybe it's just because it's like sort of Yuletide and the 21st or something, and all of this sort of shit.
It's Christmas, you cunt.
Hey, I knew that was going to get a rise out of you.
Happy holidays,
Merry Christmas, you pagan bastard.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, Lorden, hey, Lorden, hey, Lorden. Oh, I love doing this on Christmas.
That is brown ball.
Can I answer a quick one from Mr. 262?
Go on.
Is that all right? Yeah.
Vatican II.
Crack on.
Where do I stand on Vatican II?
On his neck?
Probably on the neck of those who, on someone's neck.
I mean, Vatican II.
Electric Boogaloo.
I mean, having the Mass in the Vulgate is not the worst thing. I understand having the Mass in the Vulgate because it does make people understand more. Everything else, practically every single other thing else, things like confession being only mandatory once a year over the sort of Lenten period. You know, things like that, Vatican II can get fucked. The fruits of Vatican II have left it so open to corruption. It's left it open to the popes we have these days. And Paul VI being a saint, no fucking chance whatsoever. You know, Paul VI was a heretic, so was John Paul II, and I'll say that outright.
Agreed.
And I'm not a full-blown sedevacantist. I always struggle with that. But yeah, I'm not a full-blown sedevacantist. But the fruits of Vatican II have not been good. And if by your fruits you shall know them, as Jesus.
Yeah, but at the same time, lads, I'm just trying to. This isn't directed according to you, Jackson. You know, me and you have a peace treaty. But in terms of a few people in the chat, you know, for example, Christianity made a better philosophical and metaphysical option, simple as our ancestors weren't stupid. Thinkers like Aquinas didn't exist in the pagan world. Yeah, but thinkers like Plato and Aristotle did. And the Greco-Roman thinkers prior to sort of 264 and the reforms of Constantine, you can't exactly disparage, mock, or
no, but can I just
reduce to pagan nonsense.
Goddamn wants to know when there's going to be a Jackson versus Varg e-celebrity death match.
As long as it's bare knuckle, do it. Bare knuckle. If it's bare knuckle until the death and I can choose my corner, then yeah, I'll do it. But no, what I'm saying is I completely understand what you're saying, Capstan, 100%. That these people, and this is where Catholicism comes to the point where you've got something called invincible ignorance. So the virtuous pagans, if you read Dante, like... I believe Aristotle he wasn't in hell, but he wasn't in heaven. He was in a good place, but it wasn't the best place. But this is where you come to the point where you see, like St. Thomas Aquinas did follow a lot of Aristotelian. Aristotelian, brilliant. Thank you very much.
That's right.
He did take a lot of Aristotelian philosophy in order to explain his sort of point on Christianity. And it was never a sort of disparagement because he knew that there are people that exist that cannot know God. That's what invincible ignorance is. Like the man in the Amazon who's never heard of Jesus Christ, but still tries to be a good person, still builds a mud hut for his neighbour who's in need, you know, still tries to be a virtuous man.
Tries not to scalp his neighbours.
Tries not to scalp his neighbours. Tries not to eat human flesh. That sort of thing.
Tries not to.
Yeah, because in acknowledging that there are people who physically cannot know of Christ, and this excludes Muslims and Jews, because they know of Jesus, but they actively reject his divinity. Jews more so than the Muslims. The Muslims respect him and they worship him and they reverence him. The Jews, I'm not even going to say what they fucking say about him. But this is the thing. This is where invincible ignorance comes in. And Aquinas choosing to use the Aristotelian, if I said that right.
Aristotelian.
Or
as God's own prototype says in chat, Aristotelian. Yeah, fuck you too.
Aristotelian.
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 Aristotelian. And on an Ariston. Are we sponsored by them this show?
There is that respect there for the virtuous pagan.
Project 1312 says Yuletide Gang Capstan.
Yeah, that's me, you muppet.
Oh, is that you? I didn't know you.
Yeah, that's.
I thought you had someone sticking up for you in the chat, but
nah, it was just me, mate.
That's why I read it out, because I thought it seemed quite unusual that someone would take your side in the chat.
Mate, no one takes my side on anything. That's why you just get along with people.
Well, that's for being a fucking ANCAP. But Mr. 262 says.
No, Jackson. If you really want to get to him, call him a Thatcherite.
Oh, you fucking cunt.
Oh, a fucking Thatcherite.
I'm not a Thatcherite. I am many things, but that woman. I do not have political affiliations to that woman.
Call him a libertarian and ANCAP. It all slides up him.
Call him a Thatcherite and watch him recoil.
And watch him recoil in horror.
Oh no, I've been found out.
I'm 2 seconds, boys. I will be back.
Are you ready to do some more serious posting now, lads? This is deadly serious.
Can we do the Oxford Mail story about Kebab Kid?
No, we'll do that later. No, this is deadly serious now. David Lammy hints he could become the first black Labour leader by joining Emily Thornberry, Clive Lewis in official running to replace Jeremy Corbyn.
I'm so happy to hear this. David Lammy's been listening to my tweets where I'm saying he should be leader of the opposition and Diane Abbott should be Shadow Chancellor. That's what they call the.
They should indeed. But can I just very quickly adjust the chat? I'm not a fucking Thatcherite. Fuck off.
The Thatcherite doth protest too much.
I will. Stop this now. This is cruel and unusual punishment. It's fucking Christmas, you benders.
You're a Blairite.
Hey, we got you to admit it's Christmas.
I'm not a fucking Blairite, a Thatcherite, and I'm not a fucking neocon.
Did you notice in your cries of passion that you said it's Christmas, not Yuletide?
That's because I'm trying to pander to you, you fucking Christ cucks. Now, for fuck's sake, just get off my back.
Listen to this completely unironic quote from Lammy. The alternative to Boris Johnson's ethnic nationalism is that Labour should offer his civic nationalism, Lammy writes.
Okay.
David Lammy's running on a Civnat ticket. Yeah. I'm so happy.
Hey,
I'm so fucking happy right now.
If he's running on the Civnat ticket, maybe he could have Gerard Batten as his running mate because he's a Civnat.
He could. Can I just very quickly? Who's Scuggy in chat?
Scuggy's in here. You can ask Scuggy.
Yeah,
she's in here with
us. I know. I said you. Oh, sorry. In the voice chat.
Scuggy, do you want to say hello?
Hello.
I didn't think I introduced you, sir. Hello.
Sorry, I haven't said much.
That's all right.
I too can bring my microphone right up to my face.
Hello, you've reached ASMR Nationalism with me, your host, Sir Hemingford Bender, huh?
And now will be.
And hi, I'm Capgun Thatcherite.
Hi, my name's Sir Hemingford Grey, and I'm actually going to jump off a cliff.
And now for the roundabouts of the United Kingdom.
What about Swindon?
And Swindon.
Swindon's part of the United Kingdom.
And roundabout.
And roundabouts.
Roundabouts. Roundabouts as
far
as I can see.
It's anti-Swindonism.
Did anybody know that Angela Rayner was Shadow Education Secretary? She knows nothing about anything. What the fuck?
Well, she's in the Labour Party, isn't she? So that
Jesus Christ.
So is Labour Party the Bizarro Party then?
It's like the League of Gentlemen, isn't it? It's just weird.
Well, you know how the Bizarro Party are wrong in the reverse of everything good and normal?
Yeah, definitely.
So the shadow chancellor has got to be like someone with dyscalculia, or who's just really thick.
I think we need to have Jess Phillips installed as Labour leader, so he can then have Sargon as UKIP leader.
Yes,
as we know, Sargon is the anti-Phillips.
Yes.
To be fair, boys, with the state of fucking UKIP at the moment, any of us could be UKIP leader and probably still do better.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Hobbit as leader.
Well, I was going to say I want to be Minister of Agriculture.
Why?
Agriculture and fisheries, so I can have a coast guard and defeat the Spanish Armada and say no, it's our fish.
Fair enough.
What would you do if you were Prime Minister? I'd half the price of cigarettes and alcohol, double the price of health food, and invade France. Love Hobbit.
Does anybody know
what? That's actually a good manifesto.
Does anybody know the context of Boris Johnson's pickaninnies remarks?
Nope.
Yes, he just doesn't like him.
With watermelon smiles.
Not racist, just don't like him.
I just wondered what the context was, because I don't know why he said that.
I have no idea.
Well, he was saying he was just saying Piccaninny smiles. He wasn't particularly being negative about them. He's just saying, "Oh, isn't it amusing the way they have Piccaninny smiles?"
Is there any term about black people that they don't get offended by?
Yes, no, rapist. Aspiring SoundCloud rapper.
Aspiring SoundCloud rapper.
You call them an aspiring SoundCloud rapper, they won't be offended by that, even if they're like not.
Or
You just say, yeah, you're an
aspiring SoundCloud rapper or aspiring footballer, aren't they?
I could just I could imagine like when Diane Abbott has her obituary, it's just like aspiring SoundCloud rapper Diane Abbott.
Don Dockett in chat said Lacey Marie 2020.
Oh fucking hell!
Is that what hindsight is in referred to that woman?
I've listened to her. I've listened to her once, and that's the Scottish woman. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that Scottish prosy?
Yeah. I still haven't listened to that one with Niall where she was literally fucking screeching at him, wasn't she?
Oh,
yeah,
listen.
I have. Yeah.
Sticky Vicky 2020. Fucking hell, isn't it?
Full disclosure, I like Niall. He can be a knob, but I like Niall. Right? But fucking hell, listening to her kick off, and I know people that do not like Niall going, oh, fuck, I like him now. He's actually...
What did he do to set her off then?
He
said he wasn't going to pay her afterwards.
he was talking about the Muslim rape gangs, and basically
he was, and he said that it shouldn't be a single party issue, which I can see his point. Maybe he worded it a bit fucking spasticky, you know.
Now,
maybe
what set him off, Jackson? What set him off was when he turned around and said basically it wasn't as big a problem as it once was, and then she just went absolutely ballistic.
Mr. 262 said ping pong politics. Is that some sort of trick of Lacey's, is it, that he's talking about?
No, I think
no, don't fuck it.
I think he's talking about our earlier.
I love how the amount of people in
Chinese.
this chat reveals how disgusting we are for the number of people that understood that gag. Mosley, you're burning in the pit with this heathen, mate, and there's nothing you can do about it. You better get Jackson to hook you up with a really, really accommodating church, mate, because the amount of Hail Marys that you're going to do to cleanse yourself of that, mate.
Pop.
Is Adam trolling? He said, "What's wrong with Lacey Marie?" Nothing a good dose of
Listen, women on our side of politics just know, okay? There's one woman that I sort of spoke to, interacted with a bit on our side of the politics. No, I'm not.
Her name is?
Doesn't
My
matter.
mum.
Your mum. Yes, Hobbit, I'm your new daddy.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I'm going to be your new daddy, mate. I'm going to rock up in my Christmas jumper and my MMA gear.
Well, when I go to midnight mass, are you going to be there? It's like,
He's going to beat
yourself,
the pagan out of your Capstan.
You're coming to mass and you're going to like it.
I don't want to get up early in the Sunday morning.
No, boys, check the chat because I think this is
literally the bottom message is just Don Dock and 60 quid for 45 minutes.
Alex says, I thought ping pong politics had something to do with the Oriental vote. No, I just put something on our chat. And
Niall's come out with a base comment. Having women on our side is fine. Giving them a YouTube channel isn't.
That's what I said. I think the best thing to do, right, is to let Niall explain this one because I don't think I can do it justice because it was fucking amazing.
Again, I mean, that was kind of set up to fall at the start. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go to YouTube debate with a base Scottish prosy, lads. I'm absolutely going to convert the shit out of her.
She wasn't a prosy, no. Capstan. She wasn't a prosy. It was disgruntled.
I'll put it this way.
It was just compensated dating. Is that too much to ask?
I thought she was a friend of the road.
No, it was a disgruntled ex. It couldn't have been any other reason at all.
Me on.
Just like they live is a
way.
Lacey,
I don't want to fucking do the whole drama thing, but seriously, put me on with her. I will make her cry. I promise you that.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it on a Brutus stream because he'll cry as well.
You're a slag.
I'll do it on a Brutus stream. He's been fucking canting off Christianity and all that. Seriously, I will fucking.
If you think, all right. By the way, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we should have here, we should Jackson get her on your channel. Fuck that. If you think we're paying
No,
45 quid to have that woman on our channel, you can fuck off. You'll have to crowdfund that slag.
How much is she going to pay me? How much is she going to pay me to come on my fucking... Oh, I'm going to pay... Yeah, not a chance.
Yeah. I was about to say she charges by the hour, mate. I'm not paying that.
Don Dockens said she BTFO'd Cultured Thug. But isn't he a Yank?
Yeah, but that doesn't count. Americans are lesser. It's like beating up a retard.
You're telling me that
they're
they're paying her for a talk job, in other words.
Yeah.
Niall says £100 for Jack to make her cry for an hour.
All right, get those super chat donations rolling, boys.
Well, to be honest,
crowdfund it.
To be honest, I don't think you'd hear much of a conversation because when she gets on one, she just screams and shouts. And
no, I don't give a shit because I do the same thing. And I've got
Frogmella came up to me the other day and said, "Why haven't I got a brand sister?"
Is that Lacey Marie's in the chat with us?
Yeah, what? People go, "Oh shit!" Like, "Oh, people are getting heated." I've worked the doors fucking 8 years. I know when people are getting heated and it's going to end up in a fight.
Hold on. Lacey Marie's in the chat now.
All the other mums have got at least one brand, baby.
What my reference was, Jackson, was the fact that on here, when someone starts shouting, you just can't. It becomes like a complete shambles because you get one guy shouting, the other person shouts, and the audience just can't hear what the fuck's going on, and that's what basically happens.
This is why I don't debate. This is what I've said. Yeah. I don't do the sort of... I had one sort of semi-debate with academic agent when he started putting words in my mouth, and it turned into, instead of being an academic debate where we're talking Heidegger and metaphysics and, X, Y, Z, it turned around to me essentially saying, listen, shut the fuck up. I'll tell you what I'm saying. No, keep your mouth shut. I will tell you what I am saying to you. I don't fucking play these games. I don't play these, highbrow intellectual debates. If you're going to sit there and talk a load of shit, I'm going to tell you you're talking shit. And that's the way I'm always going to be. And, if Lacey Marie did want to come on and have a fucking argument, and yeah, all right, I understand that Niall can be a pain in the arse, and I do like Niall. I'm not fucking cunting him off at all.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter because let's face it, Jackson, you're the type of bloke that literally throws prozzies out of bars for a living for touting. She's going to be able to do shit.
Exactly. I'm not someone that you can stand there and talk over the internet and intimidate. That's probably my gimmick. Everyone's got a sort of gimmick, but my gimmick is, if you start fucking gobbing off and shouting on the internet, I can quite happily say. And here's my always favourite one, and I miss this one, and I'm so pissed off, is when Sargon started trying come and say that to me in real life. And I just thought to myself, I want him to say that to me because I will ride that to the death, and I will fucking come and see him in real life. I don't do face doxing. I don't do fucking... there's very little about my personal life that people sort of know about me. But the people that do know me know that I can have a fucking tear up. And if Sargon was to start shouting, come and say that to my face, I would quite happily go and say that to my face. I would quite happily rock up in a t-shirt calling him a nonce.
I don't know, mate. I've met Sargon in person. Got big forearms, mate. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, so's Hobbit. Hobbit's got big fucking forearms. I can still
all it means is you
wank
more aggressively than I do. But I've got literally lads that have fucking met me. Lads that have met me in real life have gone, "Oh yeah, all right, I see your point." I'm not about to brag and say that I'm fucking Muhammad Ahmad Ali. But when you've got someone like fucking Sargon saying, I dare you to say that to my face, I promise you now, I would quite happily turn around and say whatever I wanted to say to his face.
So you're challenging to more than just an arm wrestle then?
Fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs?
Yeah, fisticuffs.
You're going to fist him in his face?
Jiu-jitsu.
Speaking of people...
You better make sure you actually turn up to it, Jackson. Because if you don't, that's just going to look really bad, wouldn't it, Gray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people who don't turn up to fisticuffs is fag stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just really gay. You know,
it's going to end up. All this is going to end up at this point. It's just going to be me punching a Scottish woman. It's just going to be me and Lacey, and I'll fucking do you. And it will just look really bad. It will just be like, oh, right.
Yeah, literally, there is no good that will come of this. It would just be Catholic fascist
punches out
poor abused Scottish woman who is selling her body to make child support or rent or something.
The title will be Jackson Socks the Jock, and he just.
Grub Miller came up to me the other day and said, "Why haven't I got a brand sister?"
That'll be her argument.
It's just like there's a reason I'm fucking sitting here with broken ribs, and it isn't because I wanked too hard. You know, I'm quite sure. That's probably why I'm in a bad mood all the time.
Oh, it's a question. Why are you talking about that? Here's a question. Is the porn debate played out? I mean, is it the biggest distraction in fucking right-wing conversation at the moment?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. The porn debate, right? Here's my sort of opinion on this one. You've got a generation of young men that have been absolutely hammered by everything. You can't have video games because it's racist, it's sexist. You can't have a family because, you know, women are just as good as you, and if they choose to have kids, they'll have fucking kids. It's not up to you.
Yeah, now you're telling them they can't even have a wank.
What I'm saying is sitting there wanking yourself off to Pornhub is essentially it's like being in a simulation. It's like being in a VR. You're sitting there and you're trying to essentially form a relationship. You're trying to impregnate your computer screen. It has warped what you are meant to do. It has warped your sense of discipline, where everything you need to be revolves around what you can fuck. Now, essentially, the whole sort of porn thing, and whether it's an addiction or not, I watched the E. Michael Jones and the Styx debate, and Styx was fucking awful. I'm prepared to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt to at least have a good faith argument. But he was absolutely.
Well, to be fair, Styx probably doesn't care about it, does he? I mean, it's one of those things. If you're kind of pro porn, you don't really care one way or the other, do you?
Look, put it this way: the people on your side wank yourself off to like abuse on Pornhub are fucking Satanists. So that should be telling you something. The people,
it's one of those things. It's a bit off-putting. It's like whenever you have to defend like drugs, and occasionally I do because one of my positions on it. Where you've just got fuck off. You've got to
nationalism.
Right, we're fucking done. We are done after this podcast. I'm going to start my own fucking podcast. You fucking bastard.
The Thatcher Report.
Oh fuck it. Okay, I'm just going to change my name to Belgrano in chat. Give me a minute. For fuck's sake.
Shall I carry on while Capstan kvetches?
Yeah, carry on.
You guys are assholes. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is it's morally completely foreign. I mean, from a Catholic point, and I will try and put the Catholic thing aside for the sheer factors. I know a lot of people
what I'm basically saying is, yes, I understand the arguments. Yes, it's wrong, but is it becoming a distraction?
Oh, it's absolutely a distraction.
Yeah, that's what I
go. Yeah,
there are so many people.
I'm not arguing for it. I'm just saying it's becoming the debate is becoming a distraction.
What you're saying is it's gone on for quite a long time, and it needs.
Fuck me! I'm getting absolutely destroyed in chat.
I don't think it is a distraction because imagine the fucking. Put it this way: if you was to all of a sudden be able to bring about a grassroots movement to strike, you would strike at the porn industry, but you wouldn't just strike at the porn industry because by default you would also hit at the people that control it. You would hit at all of the things that.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, we're not talking about striking. We're not talking about striking at the porn industry. We're just endlessly wanking on about whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. If you excuse me.
No, we're not. There's people. No. Because tipped a point where we're saying, like, there's an agreement. Our sort of side of politics is that porn is evil. It is evil if you want to put it morally. in a sort of Catholic framework, or at the very least, it is a poisonous addiction, whether you want to put it secularly or not.
Yeah,
but
and it
what
does.
you're
To be fair,
getting
it does change. I said your cognitive outlook on things by
it
essentially by
absolutely
programming.
does.
It does.
So,
like
so
we-
does
it's-
video.
it's one
So
of
does
those
video
things,
gaming.
like-
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't, because there has actually been. Here's what I said as well. I wish I'd put this video out before I did this stream, because I mentioned the thing about sort of think about the children. Now, video games, there's been a sort of big thing about how, it changes, alters the mind and that, which has been roundly defunct by science.
Well, apparently, I heard
It's
someone
a
say
full knockoff.
I heard someone say it does, but it does in a good way. I'm not saying a good way or a bad way, but it does. It does.
Well,
change.
no, it doesn't, because cognitively, you can look at someone that plays video games like, religiously. I love my fucking computer games, so you could say, oh, well, you're biased. But not really, because I still wouldn't let my children play, like, explicitly violent games. Like maybe Halo, a bit of Halo or something. It's a bit different. But when you look at it to the point where we've got is where porn has become so much more mainstream than anything else. It's like, if you look at Netflix, there's a show called Big Mouth, and it is the most vile, degenerate, small-hatted shit there is.
I'm glad you mentioned that show, because the thing is, I want to say, don't ban porn, just ban the people producing it, just ban them, because you can ban porn, but then you still have Big Mouth, and then you still have the things like the vagina museums and Holocaust memorials outside Parliament.
I don't think you would. I don't think it would be anywhere as near, because there's the Israelis broadcast porn when they took over. Was it the West Bank? It might have been the West.
2002.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I just watched the debate with E. Michael Jones, and I should remember this better. But the Israelis broadcast porn, and porn is a fucking weapon. And if you think about it in the most sort of basest sense, it is essentially warping the primary drive of a man. It's warping what we should be doing in the context of marriage. A man should be looking to a woman to, have sexual intercourse, to be married, and by the commitment of marriage.
Well, did you hear that thing about all the girls?
She is a good woman.
Did you hear that thing about all the girls going into AE because they got fucking busted up anuses because they've been trying to do this?
It's fucked
with
up.
A boyfriend, yeah.
This is the thing. This is one of the most repulsive aspects of it. Is that, I don't agree with that. Call me a prude, call me whatever the fuck you want. But there is no way, if my son ever said, oh, Dad, I'm watching porn, he's not going to get a clip round the ear and his fucking internet taken. It's as simple as that. It is an absolutely repulsive tool of control. And it uses one of the most base human emotions or base human desires to sort of control us.
You know what would sort this out? White Sharia. And speaking of White Sharia, apparently Marco Coletti Spaghetti in chat has said that I'm going to do the only libertarian Islamic podcast, which we'll see how that goes then, shall we?
The
Thatcheristan podcast. Well, let's. Well, I'll consider it, chat. Go on, press 1 in chat if you would watch the Thatcheristani podcast with me and Ian A. Inshallah, brother.
Well, no, it becomes where it's become so normalised is it does influence culture. Look at things like blacks. Look at the sort of the search rates for
the problem is the debate's normalising it for me. I hear the debate and I go, I can't be bothered to fucking listen to another porn debate. It's fucking boring me.
I get you, but the thing is the debate doesn't need to be, how do we legislate? It should be the first thing. It's like we've got the order wrong. And E. Michael Jones got the order wrong here, and I like E. Michael Jones. Obviously, I'm fucking biased here.
I'm sorry to disrupt you, but in chat, support for Capston's Thatcher.
So, can I just say that the thing about it sort of goes round in circles, and I feel like it's a bit of red herring, because the thing is, what we're saying here is not so much to ban the vice, it's more ban those that are producing it, and it just happens to be that there are certain people
the two coincide whatever you do.
Yeah.
If you ban the vice, you strike a blow against the people that produce it.
Well,
and
I'm just saying,
the whole
cut the
libertarian
snake off at
argument,
the head.
Yeah, but the whole libertarian argument is, the war on drugs didn't work. Of course the war on drugs fucking worked. There is a distinct...
Well, it didn't work. That's only because they don't want it to
work.
work.
But listen. this is the thing: is the concept of the war on drug works absolutely fine if there wasn't such a disparity between law and enforcement. This is the problem you've got: is law and enforcement. Now, there's people that can walk down the road, fucking smoking a joint, snorting a line.
I mean, when's the last time you went more than a day without smelling weed?
Hang on.
Let's hitch and build right now.
This is. I said I'm afraid, Jackson, we're not quite on the same page with that one, and there's a few key issues. Okay, firstly, I haven't seen the thing about that Styx did with whoever on this debate on porn. I don't really care. I don't think like Styx very much. We're on two different sort of. We're on. I suppose we're on
You're
the same
the worst
page,
libertarian I've ever.
I am the worst libertarian I've ever said. The problem with that is that argument is correct. Is that prohibition in the United States failed fucking miserably, and the war on drugs, unfortunately, in the way that it was carried out, was very, very poor. Now, the reasons, again, if we had a different method of enforcement for this, quite frankly, I think it would work. That's the concession that I give to the prohibitionists.
So right, you agree with me then?
Well, this is the problem, because in some aspects, I think that certain drugs in certain quantities with certain strengths to certain people should be legalized, and I think that others should not.
Oh, I get what you. Okay, all right.
For example, I would put your efforts not targeting addicts or the bloke down the street with a beer or with a drug pipe or smoking dope. I would literally fuck off. I would literally take Jackson and put his efforts into attacking basically commercial wholesalers of drugs. That's where I'd send the iron fist to the importers,
I agree.
to the commercial aspects, to everyone else. To the occasional joint, to the ownership of very small quantities, to maybe even a couple of very specific, very small pharmacies selling this on. I would accept that.
I don't think Si's on Discord.
All right, no worries. Okay. Capstan, when we're talking about who we target, mate, I don't disagree with you at all. There is definitely a hierarchy of who is the most guilty. I'm talking the importers, the cartels. The sort of the dealers, and in my sort of, let's say, my fascist utopia, the man smoking a bit of fucking wacky backy on the street corner is not going to be fucking put against a wall and shot. You know, that's never the argument I'm making here. Is because
what did Pinochet do?
I'm not really concerned with what Pinochet did. He was a fucking South American.
No, what Pinochet did the drug. Well,
what I'm saying is, as from personal experience.
So, hang on, I'm sorry. I'd just like to mention that 8-bit. That sounded quite rude of me. Then I wasn't cutting you off. It was just. Right, I get the Pinochet. Oh, what about Pinochet? You libertarian a lot. I'm a bit short with you. I do apologize.
No, what I meant was the fact that he said to the drug dealers, basically, he didn't throw them out helicopters. Those ones. He basically said that, get out of my country, stop selling drugs, or I'll shoot you. And they said, no, we're not going to do that. So we shot them. So I agree. You attack the people at the top. You don't attack the people at the bottom. You attack people who are making the money.
I agree.
Certain drugs, like there's certain things where I'm not a Puritan by any means. Like, for example, the Misuse of Drugs Act in Britain didn't come until 1926. I mean, the Victorian era, which arguably was the pinnacle that we had at the time, with the highest average IQ, the largest empire, some of the most technologically advanced nations, truly on the up. And they did that on drugs. They really did. I mean, you said the things you could buy in a pharmacy, cough mixture, whiskey, honey, morphine, and cannabis in it, for fuck's sake. It wasn't like you couldn't obtain drugs in the Victorian era. And yet we didn't advance
further. Cocaine was used regularly in dentistry. That's where Nova came.
Yeah, exactly. Novocaine and cocaine and such. Like, I don't. This is the thing. I'm very much sort of against this very, very Puritan attitude.
Well, also the Nazis.
I'm not.
The Nazis. Their version of Pro Plus had cocaine in it, didn't it?
Yeah, Hitler gave cocaine and amphetamines to frontline troops during the Blitzkrieg.
Combat steroids are a completely thing. Is here where we diverge. Is combat steroids to be a completely fucking different kettle of fish. But in terms of sort of recreational use, I mean, cannabis is definitely. I mean, as a bouncer, I'd rather deal with someone stoned off their tits than someone pissed.
Or coked up.
Case of it. But
the worst thing is if someone's coked up though, because they haven't got the lack of coordination. Like if someone's
you're telling me? Fuck me, yeah, 100%. If someone's been on the sniff, and I'll look at them and I'll be like, well, we need to fucking start getting him out. We need to start ushering him off because he's going to be a nightmare.
The problem with prohibition is the fact that it just becomes an underground network. You take it from the streets to
but you can say that with anything. You can prohibit. You can
prohibition
prohibit any law.
The thing is, you can make a law, but you've got to enforce it. That is the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing.
There was a couple of things that went against prohibition. The first was like the amount of dead FBI agents coming out of the Appalachians, and the other thing was like everybody was making money off it. They're the two problems with prohibition, aren't they?
But proper enforcement. This is the thing: is if you're going to persecute a war on drugs, it's no good having police that are going to turn a blind eye to people smoking crack.
Or take a bung.
Just because, okay. Yeah, or take a bung. Yeah. This is the thing, is the war on drugs, we know who profits from it. There are people in the upper echelons of government who will profit off the war of drugs. That's as simple as that. Now, if you are properly enforcing, and it's the exact same with pornography, if you are properly cracking down, properly enforcing, you will completely disincentivize. It becomes no longer worth their while to put themselves in a position where they go to prison for 10 years to earn £100,000.
So where are you on smut then, Jackson? So just like like the old classic British definition, like not allowed to show erections, not allowed to show penetration. How about just like stuff like Razzle and Page 3 and stuff like that? Where are you on that? Do you think that's kind of like not exactly wholesome? But do you think that's kind of a bit more allowable as a?
I'd rather phase that out slowly, but I know that's kind of dying a death as it is. Like things like Nuts and Zoo magazine have kind of died with the internet.
Yeah,
when you can go on the internet and see whatever filth you want to see. But no, I think it does genuinely need to kind of die out because it, it's become a case where it's become so normalised and people, it's become like a sort of the sort of corruption of lads' culture has been more harmful than people realise. Where so like, oh yeah, sharing memes about Pornhub and that kind of thing. It's like, no, that's not what sort of manhood should be.
Well, the first thing they did to kill lads' culture was they brought in ladette culture, didn't they? People like fucking Zoe.
They did, yeah. They brought in Lad Bible now, as they call it, has been fucking completely corrupted by left-wing politics.
Sorry, gentlemen. Someone came in and gave me a pie, which is very good of. I went. Yeah, exactly. It's really nice. Really nice. That wonderful time of year. What did I miss? I know the prohibition.
Thanks, Mummy.
We're talking about. Hemi asked the question. Going away from porn, but slightly diverted from it. What about Razzle, Fiesta? Kind of like the Page 3 kind of argument, and that's what we got.
I think personally, sort of short, sharp shock is the best way. You can look at declining birth rates as well to sort of see that men aren't interacting with women as they should be. You can blame it on women as much as you like. Yeah, all right, that's a fair. I'm not going to fucking cuck and white knight here and say that women don't have a serious problem. But we need to sort of start to look at ourselves and say, well, look, you've got this new sort of subculture of men that are quite happy to sit there and watch the most degenerate shit on Pornhub and then, expect to have normal, healthy relationships. And you kind of end up with this sort of disconnect over what's actually happening, where women just get blamed for completely, there's women doing this and being sluts, and then the next thing you've got men that are just sitting, paying cam whores, wanking themselves, absolutely.
Yeah, but with respect, surely it's just a coping mechanism. Like this is the thing. Are they doing it?
Easy. Coping mechanism, boys. This is what I've always said. There are fucking women out there. It's not as difficult as you may think. We can sit here on our corner of the internet and think that all women are absolutely fucked, absolutely fucked.
fuck's
They
sake,
all
lad,
want
reel it
blacks.
in. I'm not just as a comment or as a response to something you said does not mean I'm trying to proselytize or preach to you, man.
No,
The
I know
only
you're
thing
not.
I
But what I'm
mentioned was
saying,
that
is there is an option outside of this, and there seems to be a culture amongst men, which is where you get the kind of MGTOW thing coming from, where everyone sort of goes, "Oh fucking hell, women are fucked these days." No, there's not. My woman's good as gold. You know, women are always going to be more liberal than men on certain things, but you put yourself out there and you find it. And if you're sitting there with your trousers around your ankles, wanking yourself off to Pornhub, you are spending that energy. Because fuck me, biologically, one of the biggest drives a man has got to go out and do something is sex. If you want to reduce it, like get to the sort of Dutton levels of reductionism that we're sort of finding ourselves on, one of the main things is sex. And if you're sitting there and you are expending that drive on some fucking paid Jewish whore on Pornhub, you're not going to be out there and trying to find yourself a woman. The prime directive is to be finding a woman that is fucking decent, that you can trust, that you can grow to love, and that you can have children with. And having porn there is this fucking, this little, it's like a devil in your ear saying, "Oh, you need that, you need that. Come back here, indulge your lust. All you are is lust." You're going back to that fucking thing. You're wasting all that energy that you could be actually, getting out, finding a woman, focusing on self-discipline, which makes you a better man, which makes you
Full-on
more
fascism
attractive.
is the cure. It gets through the vices. We need hope in the future. We need a leader, and that's when we can get strong. I'm pretty sure the Germans in Weimar Republic had the similar problems with porn and drugs.
And look what they did. I'm not
Yeah.
being funny, but look what they did. And were they fucking
Do
wrong?
you know?
Were
I
they
think
wrong?
I think the game changer in all this is television. The one thing they didn't have was like mass media television. I honestly think that's the difference between now and then.
The media is massively, yeah, you're right. The media is so influential on society as a whole.
I'd say television itself, not what it's containing, but the television is the worst drug of them all, because that's the one which puts you in trance and makes you more docile than all the pornography and drugs.
And I just want to say, I don't want to be antagonistic to Capstan because I like him. I understand what he's saying and that, but
if I'm honest, mate, I'm gonna be perfectly blunt with you here and say I do have a response to all of that, but now is not the time or the place. This is a Christmas stream, and whilst we said some shit, if I'm honest, this is something we're just gonna have to sit down and hammer out for like a couple of hours at some point because.
I'm happy for you to. I'm not some fucking egotist maniac that's like, how
who'd
dare
get you out of a nightclub and stamp on your neck.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't. I don't know where you are.
But don't stop
I don't know where you are.
Puffin, you might be all right.
You don't know where you live yet, Captain. You're all right, mate.
Yeah, just all right. Just a little bit all right.
But no, look, if you want to disagree with me, then by all means. I mean, it's not my stream. If Hemi says, like, "Oi, both of you fucking pack it in," I'm going to respect that. It's not my fucking stream. But if you disagree with me, you disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, you can hammer it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. I know Hemmingford has got news articles, and I know a lot of chat going, "Oh, look at the Thatcherite fucking."
Also, size.
Fucking put him in his fucking place, mate. It's Christmas. I've just got my mince pie.
Also, size started his stream.
I'm not looking at this. I don't know. Chat's in favour or whatever.
Yeah.
Look. I mean, this is the thing. Is what we've sort of lost, especially being on the internet, is that I can completely disagree with someone. But still respect them. I can disagree with someone, but still get on with them. I can still like them. Me and you, we're on a very different part of the political compass. But to me, it's something that we can sort of bash out and argue about. It's not like
of course.
It's not like you're advocating the most abhorrent, evil thing I can think of. If you were sitting here saying, "Oh, I believe in abortion up to birth," then me and you are not going to get on, and we will likely never get on. But it's a case of, these are sort of things we need to thrash out. I've had disagreements with loads of people on the right. I can still like them.
No, of course, I'm glad we met the caveat. It's just one of those things that, like a lot of things. I mean, fucking hell. If I'm honest, I'm a bit overwhelmed here. Mainly because I'm massively outnumbered because I'm a libertarian individualist, of course, that doesn't have any allies or groupthink. But either way, that aside,
I've got
the chat, and I've got about 4 people, obviously in this call, and I'm literally juggling arguments here. I'm like, fuck, whose lawn first? I mean, I can't even know anymore.
I'll tell you what, we'll have a fair one then, yeah, because obviously people have said like, oh, don't fucking leave YouTube and that. You know, Jones and Sticks had the porn debate. Now let's put it in a more peasant realm, you know, where people are going to understand without having to read Aquinas and
at least they'll get a chance to have a laugh about it as well.
They'll get a chance to have a laugh with people that don't genuinely hate each other. Be people like we disagree, but fuck me, we'll have a laugh about it.
Oh yeah, mate, this is friendly sparring. Except
this is friendly sparring. Yeah,
you can't if you can't punch your mate in the face on a night out and then the next day eat a cooked breakfast with him and laugh it all off. You're not friends, really, are you? Let's be honest.
Exactly. This is it. This is the case of, you know, you go and you spar and you break each other's noses, but you're not trying to take each other's heads off. But what, you know, if we did do something like, we'd have a couple of Catholic boys, we'd have a couple of libertarian boys, and we could do it on a neutral channel.
Niall's taking it well. He just says put Capstan on the steak.
Don't mix your words, Dan.
I said fucking good old Niall, telling it like he is.
Good old Niall.
The dulcet tones of that.
It's all right, Niall. We'll get your girlfriend on and all. We'll get on.
Niall was
We'll have a reconciliation.
Niall got booted from Brutus's Telegram group the other day.
Oh, he's had a right old clear out because I noticed Band Freeman's the Irish woman. She's gone now, isn't she?
Yeah,
see, that's the one.
He got rid of all the women apart from the Canadian woman.
That's the one good thing I kind of like.
It's at JDL at JDLG if you want to come into the refugee Twitter from Brutus's. Twitter, not Twitter. I mean Telegram.
No, he's not kicked me yet. He's not actually kicked me yet, which is well, I'll check Telegram afterwards, but. Yeah, no. What I've said, like, look, I'll have a chat with Brutus as well. I'll have a chat with Brutus. You can bring Lacey Marie on. I'm no fucking top debater. I'm no master debater, as you might say. But fucking hell, when people are sitting there cunting off Christianity and talking about Hinduism, and you've got some mental Canadian bint fucking saying that
you're still in the group, mate.
What was my favourite? Yeah, if I didn't have 4,000 subscribers, I would not still be in that group. I'm putting it out there now, and that's as close to an ego as I'm going to get.
He called Niall a Christian fundamentalist, I think.
The Hindu is crying about Christian intolerance. Since when did we give a fuck? You know, when we took Ceylon, did we really care about the Hindus? No, we fucking didn't.
Is this what unites the right, attacking Brutus? Is that what we're saying?
No, I'm not even attacking Brutus. I just happened to show up on this stream and there's some fucking mental Canadian talking about, we're too smart. That's it, Astrid,
yeah.
And we're too smart and that's why they're scared of us.
Oh, God, no, I've spoken to him in a VC with that fucking mental dyke. Jesus fucking Christ.
Do you know what my reaction to that was when she said, they're too smart, that's why they're scared of us? I literally started pissing myself laughing. I grabbed my woman. I was like, darling, come here. And she went, what? I went, come here. And I replayed it back. She went, what do you mean they're scared of you? I said, I know. And she was fucking pissing herself laughing. And that was the fucking funniest thing I think I've ever heard is, we're too smart. And then straight after that was Brutus telling her, all right, darling, calm down. Shh. Shh. And
it's so annoying because it's things like I have to deal with people like this woman who call herself like a pagan or something, and then I have to build myself up and actually have to get into a VC with at least 3 Catholics, and so they can just play me a video and go, so Capstan, yes, Catholic boys, what is this?
See what you're thinking
Heresy.
now, Catch.
It's just heresy. All right. Let's just agree.
What you're thinking now, Caxton, is like you've had a disagreement with me over porn, and then I think you're probably thinking to yourself like, but is it as bad as Astrid the Red?
Is it as bad as?
Is it as bad
Astrid
as
the
sitting
Pagan?
there with fucking Astrid the Pagan and Brutus talking about ancestor worship? And the answer is no, it's not.
The answer is just fucking. It's this the scene, right? And this is for you. And it's got which way, Capstan? On one side, there's Brutus and Astrid talking about some bullshit in their cat.
You've got them talking about.
It's like Jackson on the door, but with this pair of angel wings and an outstretched hand and a laurel wreath going, "Come back to the faith, my son."
You've got the choice. You've got the choice between Hindu and pagan. You know, a vegan Hindu street shitter. And I've been on stream with Brutus. And this is the thing, is that it sounds really cuntish because I've been on the stream with Brutus before and we got on okay. But then he started talking.
Brutus loves people bitching about him. That's what his act is, getting.
That's fine. Maybe he'll do a video black prostitutes again about me, whatever. I don't really care. But you know, it kind of gets to the point where you say, like, well, look, you know, you've got one side here that I don't necessarily agree with, and then you've got Brutus and Astrid. And do I really want to be in the same boat as them? And fucking hell, I don't blame you if you don't, because she was just insufferable. It was like one of the most embarrassing things I've ever heard, listening to her trying to say how smart she was. And
I mean, I don't know.
Like,
I think like it was. I don't know. I've heard her speak before about several months ago, probably 6 months ago. ENA, were you there for that one when she was in that VC?
I think so.
Yeah. On
Wait,
that particular.
Can I say, is she the one that did the Survive the Jive video?
Yes, that one. Yeah.
I was in that one.
I don't know what it is, but to me, it just screamed schizophrenia.
So here's the thing.
I'm being quite honest here, lads. I'm perfectly blunt here. I think she's schizophrenic.
She's a poster slag for schizophrenia, mate.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing I've always sort of touted with my channel is I will talk to anyone. I'm not fucking playing the game of, you know, oh, but you can't talk bad about Survive the Jive because he does X, Y, Z. No, I'll fucking say what I like about Survive the Jive. I will call the golden one a queer. I don't really care.
He is a queer.
I will say that the golden one looks like he gives a fucking solid blowjob. But I'm not gonna.
The golden shower.
the golden shower.
Oh dear.
The golden swallow.
Oh.
We're gonna become the most hated people in the whole of the internet.
I did hear him.
Mate, we are
still get
good.
200 people watching.
We did it before on JDLE, and we got some solid listeners out of it. So don't worry about it.
This is how we sort this shit out, lads. The golden goy, fucking hell.
But no, this is the thing: is where I really don't care, like sort of who I piss off on the site, because I know I occupy a niche within a niche. If I annoy people, I annoy people.
Do you know what our mantra should be? If you can't take a joke, you shouldn't have joined.
That's a solid. Yeah, that's not a bad fucking thing. But yeah, no, I know I'm going to piss off. I know I'm going to piss off this sort of little pagan section of the right, and I don't really care because it gets to a point where I say
the thing
like,
is, if we can't take banter between each other, how the fuck are we supposed to take an onslaught from the left?
Yeah, like this is the thing. It's like I'm getting a tad on. I must admit, I say a tad uncomfortable. I was reading through that fucking chat when I was just getting on the fucking Thatcher podcast or wherever people are going on, thinking, oh mate, this is fair enough. But at the same time, it's like if I can't like just deal with that and then keep up this fucking show being vaguely funny and all that, you know, that again, how the fuck am I meant to deal with a vague criticism of lefty commenters or even any form of political movement or cultural movement whatsoever?
Well, this is the thing. What fucking got me the most was Brutus crying about Catholic intolerance on his chat, where he'd spent about 20 minutes just cunting off the church and cunting off, you know, our religion. And then it was Brutus and Astrid the retard fucking, oh, look at all this Christian intolerance in the chat. And I was like, mate, do you think Christianity was designed to be tolerant? We fought
Holy
fucking crusades. We fought fucking crusades.
What?
We've got commandments against the tolerance of evil.
What are you holy
and you are
shitting at,
sitting
Capstan?
there crying about it.
Do you know Stephen J. James, who I've just noticed in chat?
Yeah.
Mods. He's just said post physique. I would.
Sorry,
that's a
fucking
reference
doxing.
to
I'll tell you
something
what, I'm not doxing, right? But if anyone's seen Snatch, you know the bloke that Brad Pitt knocks out at the end? You know the fat cunt boxer that he bare knuckle fights at the end?
Yeah.
That is pretty much spot on where it comes to me.
Fair, right, okay. Yeah. Do you know what? That's almost exactly how I pegged you for.
You're not far off at all. Even down to the fucking hairstyle, it's not far off.
Mate.
But yeah, the
I'd
guy
like to-
that Brad Pitt knocks out at the very end, you know, where Oasis fucking in the bushes is playing, that is the exact same physique, more or less.
Oh, Jesus, man. Like, I'd like to say that fucking fair play to Godzone in the chat. And he's just said, but Capstan, you've got a thick layer of cushioning banter fat.
Well, I said, Capstan, if we ever did do a sort of debate between, you know, you and some of your more some Catholics, I would do you, because I like you, I would do you the sort of respect of saying, right, it stays respectful. It's not going to fucking devolve into shit flinging and, you know, ad hominem arguments. It would be a case of, we disagree, we can fucking disagree and still not hate each other. And
that's it. We need to get to more like pub argument type thing. You know, like a pub argument, right? You know, like where it gets pretty lively.
Where you have a fight and then your friends straight.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're not debating like, you know, such big ideas. Like, you're not disagreeing with like race or whatever, or ethnic nationalism.
Oh no, we're basically on that page.
Maybe,
you know?
well, maybe we are because your religious kind of affiliation. Maybe it's quite big, but the shit we're in now, it just seems so small, to be honest. But
yeah,
it's worth criticizing battling ideas because obviously you want the best fucking thing, not, you know, tolerance of shit ideas, basically.
Exactly. Like, this is the thing. By the way, Jackson, I would like to publicly, on record, accept that particular offer. I thank you very much for it. The only problem I'm going to find is there is absolutely no one who thinks like me whatsoever because I am like functionally retarded. So I'm just going to have to like. I'm going to have to single loan.
I mean, you know, if you wanted to have like a one-on talk about it, we'd do that, and I would say like, you know, make sure the fucking chat like, look, be respectful. He's got a fucking different idea.
Be respectful.
Oh no, I mean, I've got like this is fucking thick skin. Your chat can roast me. I'm used to it, mate. It's like when you've got weird and niche.
They probably would because I
fucking,
do.
You know what I mean? You just have to deal with
fucking
it.
Brutal. Some of my fucking some of my chat. I'll read super chats and I go, oh.
Literally, just have a fucking read through some of these fucking comments in this stream now. They're fairly light. This is every day. I'm not even complaining about it. It makes me feel better. But you know, I've actively had to make someone think up. The caliber of insults that I get are actually getting better with every passing stream, and that's what I'm like concerned about. Is one day they're going to be smack on the money.
Oh, one day, mate. Literally, we can sit down and we can just fucking bash it out. That's not a.
Oh, mate.
You know, that's not an issue at all. I mean, you know, we'd stay respectful. I'm not going to.
Oh no, so long as it's like Queensberry rules, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
but,
Queensberry rules. Yeah. That's it. We'll do that. It's you know, we'll fucking shake hands and have a drink after. Thing. That's my kind of thing. I don't really want a. Adam saying Thatcherism versus fascism.
I've never been so pissed off in all of my life. It's like, yeah, you call me a lib, that's fine. ANCAP wanker, fine. Loves kids, fine. Fucks dogs, fine. Thatcher, hang on now. Hang on. Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up. There's one
call
thing
him a Thatcherite and
watch how I squirm. Yeah, that's not even wrong. I hate that they know this now. The chat's never going to let me fucking get it. Oh, you bastard.
That comes from the stream.
I'll have a chat with you.
That comes from the stream that shall not be named, doesn't it, Capstan? Do you remember that one? The one that caused all the ruckus.
Yeah, that which one? There's quite a few at this stage of the game.
The one that killed BBC.
No, lads, this is the thing.
Sit down and bash one out.
Sit down and bash. Literally, you got to God's own prototype. I'll have to think up some Jackson bants to bring for fairness. No, mate, you don't. There is nothing equal in this world. The more I get, the more I grow as a man. You know, you crack on. You crack on, mate. I appreciate that, though.
Oh no, you'll take it and you'll love it.
You'll tell you, fuck yeah.
Well,
You'll deal with it or fuck off.
So are we gonna fish it? Are we gonna finish on some content because we're already standing on size toes and we're already up against Millennial with Tassob.
Oh, it's only fucking Tassob. Yeah. Who gives a fuck?
Well,
yeah, no, fuck Millennial. He didn't invite me.
It's
there you go. Here's one. Fucking Niles. To be fair to Niall, this is actually a decent one. It's called Fash One Out. Apparently, that sounds like a good name.
You know what? I'll tell you what. If we did bring in the porn debate, I know someone that would take my side on, especially the moral stance of it, would probably be Niall.
Hmm.
Yeah,
and then Capstan can have Brutus,
didn't it?
Capstan can have Brutus backing him up. Okay.
Oh, bring Brutus! Yeah, no, bring Brutus. It'd be fucking great.
No, I'm not associating myself with that man in front of your audience. You can.
I listen to that.
Yeah, so would I, because I wouldn't say anything. I'd just sit there and say, I'm being held against my will. Can please someone PayPal me a bit of money?
Speaks, you can just apologise.
Yeah, but that's going to be the entire stream. Right, well, thank you for that, Brutus, but I don't use Linux, and I would like to say I don't actually agree with anything you've said, but yeah, anyway, Jackson, about that thing, that's the entire stream. That's 2 hours of me backpedaling and apologising for the absolute state of this Monga teddy bear that we have to deal with.
No, look, if you literally, I would say I will shake your hand over the internet now, which is incredibly gay. But I would say I will shake your hand on the internet now. Say, if you said, look, I'll bring someone, you bring someone, and we'll fucking have a 2-on-2 debate over the fucking merits and evils of pornography.
Oh no, fuck that! I'm not doing porn. I said I'll do prohibition in general as a policy.
Oh, so the sort of prohibition of pornography.
Yeah, no. Fuck, no. Go back. I said in terms. There's two sort of different things.
Well, the other thing as well, we need to change up the porn debate. So I think prohibition would be a good way of changing it up.
But all that's going to happen is you're just going to get where it comes to legislation and enforcement. It'll be like, okay, there's legislation here, and people will agree with the legislation, and they'll say, oh, but people are still doing it, which is just a disconnect with the actual enforcement of it.
Yeah, but in terms of in two different things. In terms of, for example, the state control prohibition versus other means, for example, other means of governance, right? That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. There's certain things that I think that are easier to do. For example, like I don't believe in prohibition, especially when it comes to a lot of things about substances with major caveats. A lot of things about, say, for example, guns with no caveats whatsoever. And then, you know, I do have sort of nuanced opinions. Like a lot of this fucking Capstans and ANCAP. Some of that's true in certain, like, very minor respects, that I think there should be no governments on, and that the state should have absolutely no interference in whatsoever at all. And then there's other things that I'd be quite happy to have, like, basically chased out, such as like CP. I'm quite happy for Jackson to go and, you know, fucking absolutely hunt down people who make CP and kill them. I said I don't care whether that's Minecraft. You know. Yeah, in Minecraft. Sorry,
in Minecraft. I don't even think that should be a controversial statement that people, you know, fucking engage in that. It's one of the most evil things you can fucking do.
Exactly. Like, even if you take the morality out of it, it's incredibly genetically maladaptive. And
I will say that openly on fucking any social media you like. That I think people that abuse children should be dragged out in the streets, kicked against a wall, and shot in the back of the head.
After a jury trial made up exclusively of people who have got an SIA badge.
Well, see, my death squads will already... They'll already know. My death squads will already know. Probably
with a jury of Jackson's peers.
Which will come down to, yeah, but you look at... So you We're not going to take the chance. Up against the wall, John.
Oh, fucking hell. We just have to replace in Minecraft, as God's own prototype have just said, we just have to replace in Minecraft with all due process or something like that. I would have them burnt and shot with after all due process. And, you know, all of this. Oh, fucking hell, man.
After a jury of Jackson's peers, I think that should be it.
After a jury of Jackson's peers, I think we're going to have to incorporate that into daily bans. Yeah, I still like a jury of those with a valid SIA license, but you know, I think that Jackson's peers will do it.
They say that people inherit their sort of political stance from their fathers, and like I said, I can't wait till my son fucking puts me against the wall for being a degenerate for smoking weed when I was younger. You know, they always say that, oh yeah, they say that people, if one father's like sort of conservative, the child will always be a little bit conservative. And I thought, well, going by that logic, yeah, I'm fucked. I'm going to be shot against the wall by my own son.
Yeah, but the worst part is that I said my son will be standing next to your son, except that yours will be in the state organised right-wing death squad, and mine will be in the privately armed recreational militia group. And they'll be sort of shaking hands in that brotherly fashion as we just go, well, it had to end like this, didn't it, mate? Yeah, it did. And as our own children kill us.
Recreational McNuke before I pull my sidearm.
Yeah, is that our sons will band together to get rid of their degenerate fathers, and then afterwards the peace treaty will be over, and they fight you, and they nuke it out to see who has dominance over Britain.
Don Docken says Jackson Peers versus Sargon Squares.
Mr. 262 says, pull on your Jackson boots and get kicking.
I'm down with that.
This is the thing. When I said, like, when I got disillusioned with YouTube and all that, this would be the shit that I miss, is the kind of sort of interaction with people like you guys and people with the chats. And it's one of the fucking, that's the main thing that I really enjoy. I don't care about the sort of deep philosophical shit. This is the stuff that I enjoy.
Absolutely.
Rules for radicals. What number rule is that, Capstan? Keep it fun.
Well, keep it fun. Rules, Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. I think that's rule 7. I'd have to look it up. I think I've got it saved here at some point. Oh, fuck it. Someone in the chat.
This is what we've been saying. This is what we've been saying, Jackson, that we need to start using Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals.
Yeah. It literally I think it's one of the rules. I don't know which one it is literally keep it light-hearted, keep it fun. Right, keep it varied, keep it different, and that goes for us as well as the chat. It really does. Like, there's no point of just sort of fucking about being a dull twat. I mean, fucking Woes is a depressive, Marcus Fullin's a larper, Mark Collette's a fed. This is British nationalism. It's a load of guys in a VC laughing and talking about stupid shit, occasionally making a valid point, banter, and then move on.
Yeah,
that's it. Sorry, mate. Your British equivalent is a member of the federal government. I cannot do accents. What the fuck?
Are we going to? So I'll take it. We're just going to carry on rolling oversized stream.
Sounded Spanish there.
I know. I don't know what the fuck I'm on. I can't do accents.
Mark Collette's a part of the Gambino family. Watch out.
I feel like I've talked over a lot of the fucking guests, so I'm going to mute for a bit and go and get a beer.
When the Capstan was doing Marco Coletti,
I need you, Capstan, because we're going to start dabbing on the BBC, because we were going to talk about.
Fuck yeah! Right, I'm here. I'll just mute myself briefly so people can get a word in.
A bit because I've been.
I'll wait till you lot get back. Hobbit, do you want to? Hobbit can do his article on the Oxford. Takeaway.
I can't be asked. I can't be asked now.
You were talking about Italians earlier on.
TLDR, they don't wipe their hands after they've wiped their asses, and it doesn't matter how many vaccines you can take, you're never going to be able to immunize yourself against their bum.
Fecal matter.
fecal
Sorry, you were
matter
saying
in your food.
You were saying, Mosley?
You know, you were talking about the Italians earlier on. Did anyone get to see what the Serie A, the Italian football league, take on combating racism? Did you see that?
The three gorillas. Is that the one you're going to talk
Yeah,
about?
the three chimpanzees.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've heard it. Is it chimpanzees?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, all like dressed in like different coloured like kits, like to do with the top teams in Italy. Yeah, and it was a legit thing. I thought it was a wind up to start off with when I first saw it. I thought it was one of those trolling things, but it was actually legit. And it had the guy, the head of the football association in Italy, like promoting it. I thought, fucking hell. The Italians, they're fucking priceless at some things. They're absolutely brilliant. I did enjoy that one, to be fair. It lightened my day when I saw it.
Oh, here you go. Rules for radicals. There's only 12 rules. Rules for radicals. Here you go, lads. Power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have. I should just go over the rules. I shan't go over the whole thing. Rule 2, never go outside the expertise of your people. Rule 3, whenever possible, go outside the expertise of the enemy. Rule 4, make sure the enemy lives up to its own book of rules. Rule 5, ridicule is man's most potent weapon. Rule 6, a good tactic is one your people enjoy. Rule 7, a tactic that drags on too long becomes a drag. Rule 8, keep the pressure on, never let up. Rule 9, the threat is usually more terrifying than the thing itself. Rule 10, if you push a negative hard enough, it will push through and become a positive. Rule 11, the price of a successful attack is a constructive alternative.
I want the Top of the Pops theme music when you're saying these rules.
I'll have to get that. Rule 12, pick the target, freeze it, personalise it, then polarise it. So there you go. Rules for radicals.
Yeah, this should be on a t-shirt, all right? It's like one of those band t-shirts where on the back they've got all the gigs they've gone to. It's literally this is some really good stuff here. There we go.
Right, so we're going to dab on the bit. You wanted to dab on the BBC as well, didn't you, Capstan? So I've got an article.
Which bit of the BBC?
Well, I was going to start with licence fees. Damning truth of the BBC's relentless pursuit of the licence fee billions. How the Beebs bullying now leads to 1 in 10 of all magistrate hearings, a third of criminal cases brought against women, and children as young as 10 prosecuted. Take it away, Capstan.
Right, firstly, this is a win. This is a major fucking win if we can get the decriminalisation of the licence fee. Right, if this fucking thing gets pushed through, this is a major victory for us. Right, this is how we defund the BBC and all its bullshit. Okay, it takes up 1 in 10 prosecutions in a magistrate's court. 1 in fucking 10.
That's crazy.
It's the non-payment of the license fee. It's an absolute crock of shit. I cannot emphasize how much of a big deal this is. I don't watch television, and you might not either if you're listening to this. But the problem is the other 60 odd million people do, unfortunately, right? And not paying the license fee, £100 a year. I know that it went down in 2014, and it's the first time since the introduction of the license fee, and I believe late 30s or something like that, that the number of people purchasing a television license have gone down. Firstly, if you're my end of the spectrum and you're a little bit concerned with liberty, it's one less thing that you have to pay to the government to do something, which should be a win in itself. Secondly, if people don't pay it, they can't be charged with the state, which means the state has slightly less power, which is also a good thing, because in this stage of the game, BBC are absolutely not our friend, and they fucking hate us, and they push. They're one of the main drivers of this fucking PC bullshit, the sort of anti-white crap that keeps getting pushed, anti-English sentiment, etc. Right? If we keep going on this theme, it also means that it gives more power, quite frankly, to the people and to us. Oh, well, if I don't pay the license fee, yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to? You send me to jail? So fucking what? I'll do what I want.
Well, I mean,
it means that.
Can you imagine how much court time that's going to save? 1 in 10.
Oh, exactly. That's why I think he's doing it. quite frankly, is because of the amount of clogging up at the courts that this shit takes. Now, my only
Isn't
fear
it the
is
number
that
one
they might.
reason for women, for young women, I can't remember what ages, to be jailed, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
You
mate.
can be jailed for the license, evading the
Yeah,
license.
mate.
Well,
It's
Are you
not,
serious?
it's not
crime.
it's not evading you get jailed for. It's non-payment of fines. I do believe. I think it's slightly exaggerated, but it's still not a reason to be going to
I can't
jail.
believe people. Do you know what? When I was traveling as a younger person, that was the one thing a lot of people spoke about. They couldn't understand from other countries why we paid a license fee to watch television. People they said to me, "Well, we pay for what we want to watch, not forced to pay for some shitty license." And that was the number one topic when they asked me about it. And I was
You know
like,
what's hard about tit on this thing though is the fact that you go to countries like Germany, for example, you don't get a choice in the matter. The state taxes you, and that's used to fund the television.
Yeah, that's the only thing about this that I don't like. That they might just say, "Oh fuck it, we'll take it out of taxes."
Yeah.
But if you're basically doing a siege to the system, you're either on the dole, or you don't earn enough to pay taxes, or you don't earn a great deal, so the amount of income tax you pay isn't, a very sizable chunk of your of your income. Then this, I suppose, for the working class is a win. Because they'll have to raise taxes, which will in turn make people more angry and such like. So again, it's difficult, but to be quite honest,
But they won't. They certainly won't. They won't be getting 150 quid a year out of taxes, though, will they?
Oh, absolutely fucking not. Nowhere near.
Yeah.
Nowhere near.
The BBC should have died decades ago. I'm sure we can all agree on that one. Fucking disgrace.
No, television should have died a long time ago. I mean, it's only been propped up because of the license fee. I mean, the amount of people that would just watch, or the amount of under 30s, I should say, which are quite an important demographic, who own a television for playing video games, streaming movies and shit through an online service on the internet, or who just watch YouTube or use it for other such things,
There was a case years ago, many years ago, where one guy, he didn't have an aerial. He only had a VHS player. That's how long ago that was. And they still did him for owning a TV, even though he didn't have any kind of output from, which would make him watch the BBC or any other channels. He just solely watched videos, and they still fucking went after him and got him. You're talking a long time ago. It's just, to me, I could never understand, the whole ethos behind it. I mean, other companies, and I'm not fans of other big television corporations, but they have to make their own way. They have to sell advertising. Where this corporation for decades has got away with this off the British public having been forced to pay for their shit program.
But it's not just that though. It's the fact they fucking piss on you as well while they tell you it's raining.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
that's what's causing this groundswell of hatred for them. The fact we're forced to listen to stuff where they're actually actively pushing for our replacement.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Yep. I'd be quite happy to them to fuck off, to be honest with it.
Yeah. Because this is the thing. I said I want them to fuck well, but the things that I'm always concerned, they're going to try some bullshit. Are they going to try and, for example, expand what a television is? They're going to expand the definition of a television, or the width and breadth of a television license.
They already have. It's broadcasting. For example, if you watch the iPlayer or anything else on your laptop, that constitutes a TV.
Yeah, but what if they say if you watch YouTube or any kind of live broadcast, such as this one on YouTube?
I think the phone constitutes it as well.
The wording they said is if you've got a device which can access the BBC iPlayer website, not whether you can play videos or not, you got to pay a teletax.
Yeah, basically a phone. Yeah, now on a tablet. Basically, it's crazy, isn't
it? That is bollocks. Because this thing, I know that the wording is that you can watch, that you actually do watch it. For example, you actually watch BBC iPlayer or some kind of live broadcast or whatever. But the problem is, this is a live broadcast right now.
But there's even a radio one, isn't there? People that don't have a TV, there's a radio license, which I don't know how much that is, but it's cheaper than the TV. But they still charge people to listen to the fucking radio.
There's a black and white license. There's a color license, but for radios, there is no license.
Is there no more? Because they used to be, didn't there? Targeting people.
Yeah, but
listening to the BBC.
Have you ever seen how much they knock off for being blind?
Radio there.
You ever seen how much they knock off for being?
£7?
It's about £6 or £7. It's like fuck all, isn't it?
Unbelievable. That is.
That's disgusting, isn't it? Oh, and they've also scrapped, because the BBC now have to pay for over 75s TV licenses. They've now abandoned it, haven't they?
I don't know. I try and avoid everything.
Yeah, which means over 75s now have to pay full whack for their license.
Don't worry about what these people contribute. Fuck them. That's their attitude.
Yeah, it's just it's a money making mate. Like, I hate to say it, but outside of your friends and your family, your number.
Oh, what I do want to say, lads, is I'm actually treading on Si's toes tonight. He's invited us onto his channel. Does everybody want to hop over to there?
No, fuck it. The weak should fear the strong. We've got 41 people fucking watching. Let's go.
Sorry, he's a fucking solid bloke.
He's good at that.
If you wanted, I can fucking put one up on my channel. I think StreamYard only allows 6, so I could have you, Si, Indigenous, 8-bit, Capgun, and Hemmingford.
I want to go play games, so I'm fine dropping out.
No, wicked. And should we sort of, arms across across Britain's fucking unity stream?
I've got the StreamYard link anyway. I've got a size StreamYard link.
Just over 100. Oh, wait, fuck it. We'll go on size then.
Yeah, but your channel probably have a bigger reach, Jackson, if you're into that.
Wait, it's size regular show. He's trying to build it up, lads.
Yeah,
okay. All right, fuck it. We'll jump in.
Right. So, hold on. I just want to play out with the A Million Fuck Yous has got a new verse in it now. Do you know this song, Jackson?
Size link on the chat.
I've put it in there.
2 seconds. Oh, good lad.
It's in Potential Stories. So we'll play out with a 17 million fuck offs. And then it'll be night all.
The people of the United Kingdom and Gibraltar went to vote.
Do you know this one, Jackson?
On an issue that for some had been burning for years. The question in full and unaltered was, and I quote, should the United Kingdom remain a member of the European Union or leave the European Union? It was the greatest democratic turnout in British history, I do not scoff. And when the time came to speak, the British said, fuck off, fuck off. Campaigning had gone on for many a month, with debate and discussion on many a front. They'd argued, they'd fought, they had smeared and pulled stunts. There was David Cameron, Theresa May, George Osborne, Tony Blair, John Major, the BBC. The British told them to fuck off. The British told them to fuck off. If you vote to leave, you'll lose your job. Vote to leave, you'll lose your home. The ensuing recession will last for years. So David Cameron, Theresa May, George Osborne and the Treasury, Tony Blair, John Major, the BBC, the Bank of England, Mark Carney, the EU, the IMF, the US President, St. Obama, back of the queue, loads of celebrities, Gary Lineker, J.K. Rowling, Benedict Cumberbatch, Lord Adonis, who the fuck's he anyway? The British told them to fuck off. 17 million fuck offs. They wheeled in the experts to tell us what's right. They gave us the benefit of their foresight. To leave is calamitous, that's definite. Food shortages, no medicine, planes grounded, a house price crash, 500,000 jobs lost, cost of £4,300 to every home, stock market collapse, riots, no sandwiches, there'd be an outbreak of super gonorrhea. They seriously said that. Donald Tusk at the EU said it would be the end of Western civilization as we know it. I'm not joking. And one more thing, if you vote to leave, that makes you racist. The British told them to fuck off. 17 million fuck offs.
Lovely.
No,
Merry Christmas, everyone.
This is the new
general
verse.
election was finally called. I think you know where we told them to go. We won't need to hear from them ever again. From Tony Blair, John Major, John Burko, I can't tell you how much pleasure it gives me to say that, Joe Swinson, lol, all the MPs who switch parties without holding a by-election, Chukwurumana, Sarah Wollaston, Anna Soubry, not a Nazi, all the MPs who did the opposite of what they promised in their manifestos, Dominic Grieve, David Gauke, Philip Hammond, Oliver Letwin, Ed Vaizey, Dick, all those patronising Labour MPs who know so much better than you, Emily Thornberry, Diane Abbott, Jess Phillips, that weird one with glasses, Jeremy Corbyn, oh bless, Hilary Benn, Hillary's a girl's name, what's that all about? The Civil Service, the Bank of England, the People's Vote, the EU, Guy Verhofstadt, Emmanuel Macron, most of Hackney, bent judges, the Commentariat, James O'Brien, Jolly on Moron, the BBC, Andrew Marr, Femi Weirdo, Aaron Bastani, Gina Miller, all the celebrities, Hugh Grant, Gary Lineker, Lily Allen, Steve Coogan, Nish Kumar, Lord Adonis. Who the fuck's he anyway? The British told you to fuck off. 17 million fuck offs.
And that's all from us.
Dear.
Good night, people. Don't forget to go and watch Side Stream because that's where we're all off to. Night.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy New Year.
Yes, Merry Christmas, even to the pagans.